Board Member Garcia.
Here.
Board Member Porter.
Here.
Board Member McKissick.
Here.
Board Member Love.
Here.
Board Member McKinney.
Here.
Board Member Williams. And Board Chair Coleman.
Present.
You have 7 in the affirmative.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's posters of colors is presented by Overton High School. It is with extremely heavy heart that tonight's moment of silence is in remembrance of Joshua. We're going to do it all at one time. Okay, we'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is with extremely heavy hearts that tonight's moment of silence is in remembrance of Joshua Henderson, a Memphis-Shelby County School student from Bolton High School, and Jalen Barrett, an Mscs student from Central High School. Please keep these families in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. You may be seated. We are now on to the approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments? Interim Superintendent Richmond.
Yes, Madam Chair, we'd like to remove item 11.34, Code for Kids.
Board members. Board Member Huey Garcia.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to formally request that we add a discussion action item on today's agenda titled Resolution Approving In-Kind Donation and Authorizing Superintendent to Enter into Memorandum of Understanding. You all have copies of the resolution and an accompanying document, of which I will also read at the time we discuss, but just to give you an overview of what this includes. It is regarding a proposed in-kind donation from a local company, XAI. This private entity has expressed interest in supporting 4 of our Southwest area schools: John P. Freeman Optional School, Fairleigh High School, Westwood High School, and Mitchell High School. At this point, there's no agreement between XAI and to my knowledge and Dr. Richmond's, there's not been any work done requiring board approval at this point. So, and we have received a non-binding letter of intent outlining all of those in-kind contributions. These are facility enhancements, academic lab modernizations, athletic field improvements, and technology upgrades. So you all have a copy of that letter as well. So the purpose of this is to be explicit and transparent about what the investments would be, ask questions, raise any considerations. You have those on the back of yours? You don't have a copy of the letter? Okay. Let's make sure that we get a copy of the letter, since this will be at the request for action. Okay. Okay, we've got it. Okay, great. and provide guidance regarding the next steps. So particularly our board policy 2019, which governs the acceptance of all grants, gifts, and donations, and in that policy indicates a certain threshold over $15,000 or significant financial value for facility alterations must be approved by the district. So I'm bringing that with our resolution and their intent for us to discuss tonight, and hopefully acceptance of the proposed resolution. Thank you.
Board Member McKinney?
Yes, this is a point of clarification. This is for us to, I'm reading it for the first time, and so this is for us to accept in-kind donation that we're not sure exactly what it is, and we just got it today. So I will just let you know that I'll be okay with adding it for the purposes of discussion, but we'll be seeking to think about how we may amend this resolution to talk about allowing this resolution asking our superintendent to enter into the conversations. But this seems to say authorizing him to accept something we're not quite sure what it is. So I just want to put it on the floor that the reason why I am saying okay to this is because I want to get it on the floor so we can have a robust discussion about what this looks like. Understood. And the letter does show the parameters and locations and types of investments that they are going to make. And just to be clear, as an in-kind donation, there is no intent for money to exchange hands. They are asking to do that work on behalf of the school district. I get that. We will keep that in discussion. Exactly. But I just want to be clear of where I am and why I'm going to go ahead and say okay to letting this get on. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you supporting the discussion. Thank you.
Board Member Williams, the discussion that we will have surrounding this is what the company do. Will we understand every implication or everything that could possibly be done with the construction of this facility in the area where they're trying to put it around several of the schools in my district? And I'm concerned because the parents and the citizens that in that community are very concerned about what they will construct and what, if there will be any ramifications on the health of the citizens in that community, as there was in Boxtown and White and Castile and places where
The question on the floor now, is there any objection to us adding this to the agenda? For discussion.
I have no problem discussing. I have no problem voting.
That's what we're talking about, adding it to the agenda for discussion.
Excellent.
Yes. So everybody's okay with us adding it to the agenda for open discussion at the appropriate time.
Can we do that by consent, or do we need a roll call vote?
Roll call vote.
Okay. I move that we add the resolution approving in-kind donation, authorizing superintendent to enter into memorandum of understanding under request for action.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please, just to add this item to the agenda.
A second.
Second. Good. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
That item passed. Please also let the record show that Board Member Otay is present. And Board Member Murphy. I'm sorry, I thought you came. We are now on to public comment. Okay, can we get a motion and a second to approve the agenda with the added item?
I move to add the item to the agenda.
To approve it.
I move to approve the item.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. The agenda is approved. We're now on to public comment. In accordance with state statute, the board shall reserve a period for public comment during business and special call meetings. Only those members of the public who sign up for public comments prior to the commencement of this meeting shall be permitted to address the board. Public comments shall be taken in the order in which the public sign-ups are received. A sign-up sheet for public comments will become available 30 minutes prior to each applicable meeting and will be closed at the start of the meeting. This sign-up sheet is located at the entryway table just past the security checkpoint. Speakers must state their name, organization he or she is representing, if any, and subject of their comment before they are permitted to proceed. Speakers may offer objective comments about school operations and programs that concern them. Speakers are asked to refrain from using names of personnel or names of persons connected with the school system, particularly when lodging a complaint. Speakers will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairman shall have the authority to terminate the remarks of any individual who is disruptive or does not adhere to board policies. Dr. Booker will announce the number of speakers and time allotted per speaker. Your time is projected on the screen to your right and directly behind the board. When you hear a bell, your time has expired. Dr. Booker.
31 community members have signed up to speak. Each member will have 1 minute per speech.
Our first three speakers are Carolyn Quinn, last name McGee, and London Jordan. Those are our first three speakers. Can you state your name and address?
My mailing address is 6947 Finch Road. Okay. Again, thank you. I am going to be reading out what I'm here about. I'm about here about the Dream Crashers Charter School. I write to you today only as a Tennessee state representative, but also as a lifelong Memphian who witnessed firsthand the escalating crisis of youth homelessness. And we urged in the strongest possible terms that you approve the charter application for Dreamcatchers Charter Academy, a school designed to serve for one of the most vulnerable and often forgiven populations in Shelby County. Our homeless and housing insecure youth. As you are aware, the state of Tennessee has already approved $750,000 federal startup grant for the Dreamcatchers. Do I need to stop?
Yes, ma'am, your time is up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last name McGee.
My name is Kiera, last name McGee. My address, 90 Caldwell Lane. My reason here is to represent the community, deaf community, and parents. Also, my concern also is following the ADA. You all are not following the ADA process. I'm warning you because you could lose federal money, because they've already paid money for the deaf community. And also, along with the TCAP, it doesn't match the deaf students' curriculum or kids with a disability. We need to have that. That's a big concern for me. You could lose government money for that.
London.
My name is the microphone? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
My name is London Jordan, and my address is 1535 Century Arbory Lane. Hi everyone. I hope you are all doing well. My name is London Jordan, and I've been a student of Mscs all my life. So Mscs is all that I know, and so much of my gratitude is in the school system. I am thankful for the school board that has poured so much into being the change that we all want to see, especially in the context of Senate Bill 161 and House Bill 1199, which mandates at least one non-voting student representative on each school board in Tennessee. Because the truth is, I've been holding on so much for so long, and the rate is finally showing. Well, have a school board representative who understands the rate of being a youth now, but what good is that representation without the power to vote? Because adultism, the belief of young people that they should stay quiet until we're older, quieter, easier to manage. But how are we supposed to grow when we're silenced before we can bloom? Because youth leads life just as rich and heavy as a sponge with your own. I have a dream. I have a vision. I'm fighting for students' voice. And we want a democratic youth on the school board. Thank you.
Our next three speakers, Isaiah Alexander, Audrey Brooks, Carly Hall.
All right, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? My name is Asia Alexander, 477 North 5th Street. All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Asia Alexander, and I've had the privilege of working with phenomenal young people at the Bridges USA's Youth Action Center. And it can be dehumanizing for schools to not treat their youth as a full person and just a responsibility to be taken care of. And Senate Bill 161/House Bill 1199 can easily fall into the responsibility by the state and not an intentional act of personhood. With your collaboration, we want you all to consider today having London and other youth from this campaign sit on the Policy Advisory Committee, and for you all to attend a youth and adult equity training because it's truly life-changing. The training primarily focuses on bridging shared experiences and generational gaps while challenging youth tokenization and building real partnerships, with an emphasis on the systemic oppression that youth face and how schools can be a part of the solution. Ultimately, the goals of this campaign are to reform Student Congress to be the forwarders of democracy in school, as well as go beyond the state mandate and have a representative for each high school grade level and have them be elected by the students of other states have done. Let's build this together.
Ms. Brooks.
Good afternoon. On May the 2nd, I attended the job fair at Graceland, Elvis Presley's home.
Ms. Brooks, I'm gonna let you start over. I want you to give me your name and your address, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, Audrey Brooks, 1550 North Parkway. Okay, on May the 3rd, I attended the job fair, and Dr. Isaac Richmond saw the potential in me, and he added me to his staff. I took my TB test, I lifted to 25 pounds, I took my eye test, and then I got to be best friends with Amazon. I ordered pictures and books and calendars and this and that and the other. And somebody asked me, well, is the 5th grade self-contained or do they pass classes? I said, let me call the school and find out. So I called the school and they said, your name is not on the faculty list. And I had the big one like Fred Sanford. Well, I called the board and they said, well, Ms. Brooks, we sent you 2 emails and asking for your transcript and you didn't answer either one. So I scrolled through my phone and I said, no, you didn't. She said, yes, I did. I said, no, you didn't. She said, yes, I did. I said, no, you didn't. And she said, yes, I did. So anyway, what she did was,
Ms. Brooks, someone's gonna step out in the hallway and have a conversation with you. She's right behind you, Ms. Brooks. Okay. Right there. She's going to take care of you, so you will not have another big one.
I love her. Yeah, she had a story. Right. I was excited. I love her. She's my friend. I love her.
I think she'd be an extraordinary teacher. The kids would love her.
I love her already.
Hello. Okay. Good evening, all. My name is Carly Hall. My address is 6226 Maryland Cove. I'm of the Memphis-Shelby County Youth Council. I'm 16 years old, a rising junior for my first year at Harding Academy, and I would like to start my comment by saying thank you to the sitting board members for your leadership and adaptability in a diverse community like ours. Today, I'm advocating beside London and Asia, who spoke prior to me, as well as other youth, to sit on the policy committee for the enactment of Senate Bill 161 and House Bill 1199. Personally, I've been an Mscs student in all my years of schooling up until this upcoming school year. Part of the reason why I am transferring out of this school system is because I felt unheard throughout my years in the system, and my peers that I've spoken to can agree. Often decisions of which I and my peers have been affected did not include us in coming to those outcomes, and this inequity is unacceptable, and if we want to make positive change in our community. I hope that you will consider all of our voices and what I've shared with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. The next three speakers, Zaharia White, Malik Fields, and Anna Gail Robinson.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening. My name is Zara White Chaponi, and 477 North 5th Street, and I would like to speak about youth and adult equity in schools. So I'm here representing Intercore, and I'm here to support London and Asia, and I want to talk about youth and adult equity in school. Youth and adult equity is shared power between youth and adults for partnership to make decisions and have a great common ground. Then this can be modeled in school by having our admins and counselors share power in the decisions for us, such as making decisions about our resources for us. We can have a say in what we need and want in our school to better accommodate our education opportunities. So we have to face obstacles as youth that are to limit our expression of ourselves and voices to address issues and challenges that we face through the education system of our schools. We don't know it all, and we need your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just hold this? All right. Hello, my name is Malik Fields, and my address is 3735 Shanna Drive. I'm a member of the Memphis-Shelby County Youth Council. The topic of my comment today is to affirm London Jordan and Asia Alexander's campaign in incorporating the youth's voice in school board matters. I would like to begin by thanking every school board member for your individual and collective work, leadership, and willingness to adapt in an ever-changing society. Your efforts are truly essential, and I appreciate them. But the concept of striving is one I'd love to discuss today. Looking at the current status of the school system, I feel underrepresented. While I can't say that I'm privileged in having access to funded public education, I also feel as if I have little to no say in the school system. There have been so many times where the school board has made a decision for me and every other student, and I'm left to ask why. Why are these decisions made without my attention, and why can't I be in the conversations that they happen in? The more youth begin to recognize that they have a voice, the more true change is possible, and I encourage you all to understand that.
Good evening, Memphis-Shelby County School Board Chairman and members. My name is Danielle Robinson, and my address is 1576 Shannon Drive. I'm here with the Bridges Youth Action Center to push forward a campaign that supports equal partnership between the youth and the school system. With that being said, we want you all to attend a youth and adult equity training so that you can see why we're advocating for students to be on the board and reforms to Student Congress. I bring this into consideration because I believe strongly that our generation is the next generation of leaders that can help others thrive through better education. This can bridge the generational gap and bring us better test scores. Overall, I ask the school board to consider this request because this can be very beneficial for us as students and future leaders. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Name is Mark Williams, 918 East Dempster Avenue, representing Shelby County Youth Council on the topic of the youth voice mandate. I'd like to thank the board for being present here. I am here as part of a youth-led campaign to support your goal on building more stronger and equitable schools. We are excited by the recent step to include one youth board member through public chapter number 359. We believe that together, youth and adults can model what authentic collaboration looks like. I want to talk about one of the considerations. I want to focus on amending Student Congress policies to promote better school-level democracy and better represent the needs of students. Currently, Mscs policy number 6061 is a governing document for Student Congress. This document has not been updated in the past 12 years. We would like for Student Congress policies to help support student voices, use equity principles to help uplift every student's concerns, and more. The first for everything, however, is for the Mscs board members and superintendent to attend a youth and adult equity training hosted at Bridges USA. None of this will happen if you don't attend a youth equity training. I'm a legacy builder, and we both need Student Congress and legacy builder to help address the needs of the student voice. My name is Mark Williams, and I thank you for listening to my speech.
Our next three speakers, Ms. Latasha Griggs, Chet Kibler, and Aaron Walker.
Good afternoon. My name is Tasha Griggs. My address is 3321 Bridges Drive. I want to tell this board, it's amazing how when y'all do stuff, it's against the law. But when it come to us, it's okay. They'll be all right. That don't make sense to me. Second of all, I want to put you all on notice that my kids will not be going to school this year. I'm not putting them in school because I don't trust none of y'all. None of you. I've been dealing with one issue a whole school year. I've had somebody over here that try to help me with it, but it does nothing for me. And third of all, I have received this card at my address, and it said by February 15th that your financial records need to be turned in to the election commission. So if you didn't turn them in, you might need to. Here's your mail. Y'all have a nice day.
Hello, my name is Chet Kibble, Sr., located at 3229 Lakeview Road. I'm the director of the Memphis-Shelby County Lead Safe Collaborative, and I'm here to talk about lead. I have some handouts I would like to give the board one, to each board member.
At the end, you can leave it with the desk and they'll get it to us.
Okay. Okay, what that handout is it's 20 years of research. As I said, I'm Chet Kibble, Senior, the Director of the Memphis-Shelby County Lead Safe Collaborative. Lamorne College opened up the Environmental Research and Training Center in 2000. I was selected to be the manager of the school, which focused on teaching state-required training in the lead fields, along with researching lead effects in our community. Our nonprofit has continued that research. Science has continued to make advancements on the level equal to the DNA breakthrough. In 2010, a congressional investigation of the CDC proved that lead in the water was extremely dangerous and there was no safe level. The sterilization plant in South Memphis was proven to be 15 times stronger than what EPA thought. Science has proven many of the toxins are more dangerous than what we knew. And lead is a major player in the problems in our school system, as well as the crime rate. Memphis needs to give lead the respect it deserves. Lead is much more dangerous than asbestos.
Mr. Keebler, your time is up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I am Aaron Walker, 3309 Berea Road, Man Up Teacher Fellowship. This is my first time speaking to the board. I've been an English teacher for the past 9 years, working for FCS, ASD, and now the MSCS school system. But I'm here to tell you that without the Man Up Teacher Fellowship organization dedicated to growing the number of black male teachers in our region, I would not be entering my 9th year of teaching. In fact, I've tried to leave education about 3 times. And because of this one organization, I've now gone on to get my master's degree, and I've also recently gotten my instructional leadership license. And that's why I'm here. Usually I would be preparing for my students to come in right now, but they said, Aaron, got a little problem. Funding is out of whack, and we need you and other Man Up fellows to go down and tell the board just how much you love that we came into your life. And I really do. And overall, I would love to ask the board to enter a formal partnership to support Man Up in its future so that we can keep black male teachers coming into our classrooms. Thank you.
Rodney Miller, Damian Noel, and Akia Green.
Good evening to the board and residents of Shelby County. My name is Rodney Miller, and I'm a proud parent of 2 of Shelby County school students, one of which has been in Mr. Aaron Lissey's class, who I'm here to support tonight. I feel that Mr. Lissey would be a great fit for the leadership team of Shelby County Schools because of his dedication in and out of the classroom. My daughter seemed like she had a very enriching experience and was always talking about the things that they were doing in the classroom. Some things that he did was he had a program, a play that my daughter participated in, and this play addressed social issues like bullying and self-respect. And he also had a recognition program that he provided outside of school to recognize the students. And I think that it was just a well thought out thing to do for the students, okay? And also he introduced my daughter to a program called Determined to be a Doctor One Day, which I think has really enhanced her. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Damon Noel, 1650 Ray Brad 38016. I'm a parent of a student here in Shelby County, but I wanted to address some concerns. When Dr. Richmond first addressed the district, he promised fairness and equity in leadership appointments. He said no principal would be moved to central office or promoted unless the data supported it. But what message does it send when before data had even been released, Dr. Michael Lowe, a personal friend and fraternity brother from my understanding, and of the superintendent, was promoted? And while I don't speak to Dr. Lowe's qualifications, I do speak to the inconsistency of the city and what was said and what was done. Even Assistant Superintendent Dr. Whitelaw saw the need for real leadership when she asked the former principal of Riverwood Elementary, Dr. Rita White, to come back to rebuild a struggling school. This isn't just about one person. It's about a continued pattern here in Memphis that needs to be addressed, please. And it's about whether we are willing to align our actions with our values, which I know that's hard to do in politics, but if we say equity matters, we need to ensure our selection process reflects that. God bless.
Good evening. My name is Akia Green. I reside at 7571 Spring Morning Court, 38125. I am here to support the opening of KIPP Cordova Collegiate Elementary as an expansion of KIPP Memphis. I am both a proud KIPP Memphis teacher and parent of 3 KIPPsters, each at the elementary, middle, and high school. My children and I have experienced the KIPP journey firsthand, and I can truly say it's been transformative. I've watched my 3 children thrive in KIPP Memphis. The love, structure, and academic excellence we've received have supported my family's growth in every way possible. As a parent, I want families in Cordova to have that same opportunity for their children to thrive, just as our KIPPsters are now. And as a teacher, I know what's possible when students are given the right environment to learn, lead, and grow. A new KIPP Memphis in Cordova is the right next step. And I ask you to please vote to approve the new KIPP Cordova Collegiate Elementary School. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon Macklin, Joshua Robertson, Kimberly Howard.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Macklin. I reside at 3234 Foxgate Drive, Memphis, Tennessee, 38115. I'm here to speak on the behalf of Dream Catchers Academy. This is a rare and bold effort to meet the students where they are. Children who live without stability, safety, or a clear path forward. Dream Catchers would provide wraparound support services and tailor education to those most at risk of falling through the cracks. Dream Catchers Academy is long overdue here in Memphis. We, the community, voted for you, not the employees of the charter school office. You are the voice of the people. We elected you to stand up for the children of Shelby County, particularly those who have no voice. Tonight, we ask you to vote for the homeless students who have no stability and no champion. Be the leaders we believe in when we casted our votes for you. Please vote yes for Dream Catchers Academy. Thank you.
Good evening. All right, Shelby County has nearly 3,000 homeless students that are documented.
Mr. Robinson, will you state your name and your
Joshua
address?
Robinson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shelby County School is facing nearly 3,000 homeless students are documented, with advocates saying the real number is higher. These children deserve more than temporary solutions. So Dream Catchers Academy will provide stability, meals, counseling, and uninterrupted education for their needs. Approving this school is not just an act of leadership, it's an act of humanity. The academic model, the leadership, and the mission stands on it. Even though the city or the state has given the approval for the $750,000, we still need your approval to go forward.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Holt. I reside at 2684 Blue Ridge Drive. I am here to advocate on behalf of voting to approve KIPP Cordova Collegiate Elementary School. I am the assistant principal at KIPP Memphis Collegiate Elementary. As someone who's grown with this organization under our CEO's Dr. Burt's leadership, I've seen the deep commitment we have with supporting families. We are building strong communities each and every day, and expanding to Cordova means more students and family can benefit from the KIPP difference. I truly support this growth. Memphis scholars are ready. We need your vote. Thank you.
Danielle Taylor, Aaron Litzy, Darlene Wells.
Good evening. I'm Danielle Taylor. My address is 1617 Harrison Street. I stand in support of KIPP Cordova Collegiate Elementary School as a part of the KIPP Memphis Network. I'm a proud KIPP Memphis parent and employee. I have the privilege of helping families discover the power of our schools, whether I'm in the community, at events, or simply talking with neighbors. I'm always sharing what makes KIPP so special: our strong team and family culture, our unwavering focus on student growth, and the real lasting results we see in our students every day. That's why I'm asking for your support for the new KIPP Cordova Collegiate Elementary. This school would be a blessing for the Cordova community, and I'm excited to be a part of the effort to make it happen. Thank you.
Aaron Litzy.
Aaron Litzy, 5344 Longwood Drive, 38134. Good evening, members of the board and Interim Superintendent Richmond. I stand before you tonight as a parent. Since June the 11th, I've reached out multiple times. My mentor principal encouraged me to reach out to Stacy Davis to inquire about enrolling my son, Aaron Jeremiah, into Memphis-Shelby County Schools. We've expressed clear interest in a couple schools. We've even explained why we wanted to transition from private to public school, because we believe in the promise and the potential of MSCS. Yet, after multiple emails and a month and a half later, we received no response to any of our emails. We say that we want enrollment here in the district, but when a family like mine committed to this city and these students tries to enroll, we're left with silence. How can we ask families to believe in a system if the system doesn't believe in them? Certainly, we would appreciate some follow-up from that, Aaron Litzy. Thank you.
Good evening. Darlene Willis is 572 Bunton Street, Memphis, Tennessee. Dear fellow board members, I would like to speak on the charter often question whether there's a demand for a school serving the homeless students. I'm here for the Dream Catching Academy. I want to find out whether now, how can anyone doubt this when there's over 2,000 homeless students are documented by the district itself? The Dream Catchers Academy charter school would be a model directly addressing the population that is so underserved, marginalized, and forgotten. Unlike other schools, we focus solely on providing stability and academic excellence for the students who are often invisible in our system. We appreciate if you all can just support us on this matter. Thank you.
Marcus Randolph, My Angel Benton, Centuria Johnson.
Marcus Randolph, 2797 East Hickory Bluff. We must be a little careful about what we say in the press. We looked at today, I watched the interview with you, Dr. Richmond, and we got 45 schools with air conditioning problems. Also, why should any of our teachers pay for a cheer coach at East High School? Everything you do, everything you say will be scrutinized, whether you like it or not. This started off bad. And the only advice I got for you, do the work. Stop trying to make yourself look good. If you do the work will speak for itself. I understand that. Even though I don't like a lot of you. I don't wish that you fail. Reason being, if I wish that you fail, I wish that our students fail. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Ms. My Angel Benton, 546 Fraser Drive, Memphis, Tennessee, 38127. I'm here to support KIP Cordova Collegiate Elementary School. I'm a proud KIP Memphis teacher and active community member. I've seen how KIP transforms lives through high expectations, inclusive spaces, and investing in every child's future. At KIP, we don't just teach, we empower. Cordova deserves a school that uplifts, leads, and listens to families. That's why I strongly support opening a new KIP elementary school in Cordova. Your vote for the new KIP Cordova is a vote for more classrooms like mine, where high expectations meet deep relationships and lasting impacts. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cynthia Johnson. I reside at 3428 Kirby Parkway, and I am here to ask that you all approve Dreamcatcher's charter. I am currently in a homeless situation with my daughter, who is 11 years old. I have seen firsthand the work that Dr. Kiner and all of the board members and everyone involved in Dreamcatchers has done. They have helped me and my daughter. We have not only come from a hotel and an extended stay, we are now in a rooming house. And for me to have to constantly move her from school to school because I have nowhere to live based on my disability and the fact that I cannot get a job at the moment, it's ridiculous. And also the fact that you all are thinking about not granting this charter school the ability to help my daughter and other kids like my daughter is absurd. I would ask you all to really think about and ask yourselves, what is the message that you're sending my daughter Faith Johnson? Are you telling her that her education does not matter because she's homeless? I just ask that you all consider her and the rest of the homeless kids who are going through things with their family. Thank you.
Melissa Thomas, Keisha Jones, Patricia Ross.
Hello, my name is Melissa Thomas, and I reside at 4829 Judy Lane, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the Dream Chaser School. I feel as though we need the school because we have so many children that are out here, they don't have any support at all. They need to feel belong somewhere. If we keep pushing them away and not giving them some hope, where are they gonna be? We have to also think about them like we think about ours. We want our children to have an education. We want our children to have free will. Why not that be for the homeless kids? They already go through enough. Please think about the Dream Chaser School. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Keisha Jones. My address is 4505 Shadow Creek Street, Memphis, 38141. I'm speaking in behalf of the Dreamcatchers Academy. The Dreamcatchers Academy is often a solution to provide for the homeless children in our community and just in Shelby County, period. It's requiring to do a safe school environment design for the uniqueness and needs of the kids that are in need. These are children that's moving from school to school. They have no stability, nowhere to stay, and Dreamcatchers Academy is offering stability by providing education, by providing the needs of these children, by providing the needs even of those that are homeless. Right now, we are asking that you all consider Dreamcatchers Academy and approve them to have education in our community. Thank you.
Good evening. Dear School Board, the charter school,
Ma'am.
I'm sorry, my name is Patricia, I apologize.
Thank you.
My name is Patricia Ross, 2446 Park Avenue, 38114, that's in Memphis, Tennessee. My apologies. Dear School Board,
The charter school office recommendation was to deny the Dreamcatchers Academy. That was a mistake. Just because the staff office makes a recommendation, it doesn't mean that the elected board that's blindly accepted it, okay? Think about it like as a doctor's office. If a doctor recommends surgery, up to me, it's up to the patient to actually go and get a second opinion, to use the wisdom. But you're the elected leaders. You're the ones who must weigh and also have the evidence to make the decision. The evidence is clear. Dreamcatchers is needed. Please correct the error. The charter school office and the Dreamcatchers vote homeless youth for Shelby County.
Our last three speakers, Amber Crawford, Vanita Doggett, Dr. Gerald Kiner.
Good evening. My name is Amber Crawford. My address is 4915 Saddlehorn Drive, Memphis, Tennessee 38125. Memphis-Shelby County Schools has often been criticized, with some pointing to the statistics to justify a state takeover. But approving Dreamcatchers Academy can change this narrative instantly. By opening the first charter school for homeless students, you show the world that the district is not just surviving, but it's also innovating. You demonstrate a proactive approach to the most challenging issues that we face in education today, which are poverty, instability, and homelessness. This decision to approve Dreamcatchers Academy can put Memphis back on the map for forward-thinking educational leadership. So do not let this opportunity go by, as we do need this opportunity in our community. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. Vanita Doggett, 4678 Orange Tulip Drive. I'm here to speak on item 10.1, policy 000, school board meetings, and flag a proposed change that would shift the posting the meeting agenda to 48 hours before a work session or business meeting instead of your 5 days. I'd like to note that while I understand that the state law creates this as a minimum, this body has traditionally used 5 days as a way to provide greater transparency to the public. As a former board policy staffer and board office staff, I'd urge the board to maintain its previous standards, as it has served as a best practice for others across the state. Thank you.
Good evening, school board members, Mr. Superintendent. I'm Gerald Kiner, 145 Felice Island Drive, Memphis, Tennessee 38103. I just want to say it's a life-changing opportunity, not only for the students who are homeless in Memphis and Shelby County, but also for this district to become the first school board in the country to create a homeless charter school. Would be innovative, would be breathtaking, would gain us national attention. Just because someone recommends something doesn't mean we accept it. The charter school office, unfortunately, did not recommend us, but again, my doctor can recommend surgery, but doesn't mean I'm going to accept it. My doctor can recommend medicine, doesn't mean I'm going to accept it. You have to use your heart and your common sense in these moments. Representative Carolyn Camper, who is one of the most well-respected women in politics on both sides of the aisle, she knows the crucial importance of this moment. So I'm asking you all to seize the moment to do something and break the narrative of our negativity that the state attributes to our school board and to our city. You all can do this.
Thank you to our speakers. We're now on to the approval of the minutes from the following meetings. Approval of the minutes from the June 17, 2025 work session meeting. Are there any corrections? There being no corrections, do we have a motion to approve these minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
A second.
Motion by Board Member Murphy, second by Board Member Porter. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams. Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. Approval of the minutes of the June 24th, 2025 business meeting. Are there any corrections? There being no corrections, may I have a motion to approve in a second?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Murphy, second by Board Member McKissick. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. We're now on to our committee reports. 8.1, the board chair's report. We have a very special presentation we would like to do at this time. Ms. Timberlake, please.
Happy birthday, Michelle. Okay, I know we were late saying happy birthday, but you're the only person I know that actually celebrates the entire month of their birthday, from June 1st through June 30th or 31st, whatever. But I want to say happy birthday. I know you had a great day, and I wish you many, many more.
Happy birthday, Michelle. I hope you enjoyed your wonderful, wonderful birthday.
Happy birthday, Board Member Michelle McKissick. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication that you poured into our school system. I know you spent many late nights, countless nights, sleepless nights. As you can see, it's nighttime when I'm doing this because I'm working hard just like you. But again, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Michelle McKissick. It has been a joy watching your kids grow up, especially Bliss.
Happy birthday, Michelle. I know your birthday was in June, but this is July and we didn't get a chance to say happy birthday to you. So happy birthday. Enjoy. I can't say enjoy your day because you was already gone. So enjoy the birthday that you did have and the trip that you did have. So have a great birthday. Best wishes.
Happy birthday, Michelle. I hope you had a wonderful day and you were celebrated. I am so thankful to serve with you and to call you my friend. Love you.
Happy birthday, Board Member McKissick.
If I may, thank you all so much. You know that I'm just kind of low-key. Well, here we go. One more time. Let's do it again. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I thoroughly enjoy. It's been just an experience, always to work and come together because we all have that same goal of helping children. So thank you so much for those kind words. Much appreciated.
Thank you. We just want you to know we appreciate you and wish you the best. Is Angel Baisley present with us this evening? Angel? We want her to be present when we recognize her board members. If you all want to go down, we're going to recognize her. We want to recognize Miss Angel Baisley, I may be saying the last name incorrectly, for winning a top honor in Do the Right Thing writing competition. Angel, a 6th grader in Hamilton K-8, will be representing Mscs as a national ambassador for our region. This award is a prestigious honor that reflects both her brilliance and the transformative power of student voice within our district. That concludes the chair's report. We are now on to Academic Performance Committee report.
No report.
We're now on to Budget, Audit, and Finance Committee report.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I just have a few items. First, we talked about this last week at our work session, but our teachers listening, first, welcome back. We can't wait to start school next week. But your teacher bonus checks, we have received our cash from the state, and so that will be on your Friday, August 1st check. So we are just following up on our promise last week. We want to let you know that you should see those $2,000 bonuses. We will be bringing our budget calendar next month and starting in the committee, so we can get that approved and get all of the budget meetings and retreats that we need to have well ahead of where we were at last year, and including it in our strategic priorities that I know were coming, and some of the facilities conversations that are coming up. So expect a budget calendar. And then the last thing I want to flag is that we do need to do a business systems review. So start thinking about the priorities and the things that we want to see, connected both to our strategic plan, but also personal board priorities. So getting those ideas ready to share for committee next month. Thank you. That concludes Budget, Audit, and Finance Committee report.
Thank you. We're Charter Schools Committee report.
Everything's on the agenda.
Thank you. 8.5 Community Outreach and Engagement Committee report.
No report.
8.6 Evaluation Committee report. There's no report tonight. Policy, Governance, and Legislation Committee report.
Yes, thank you, Chair Coleman. We have a couple of announcements. Our board governance training request for information documents came back in. I believe that G.C. Bailey sent all of us copies of that information. Could you please take a look, or no, I'm sorry, he did not. Forgive my cloudy brain. I will send them all to everyone for us to review and discuss at our next board committee meetings. So you did send them to everyone? Okay, yeah, I thought so. Okay, then I'm not so cloudy. Okay, yes, you got them in your emails. So please review those so that we can discuss whether any of those are things that are meeting the expectations that we have set forth in the RFI. The next thing that I wanted to make sure that you all did and remembered, we will be having our board relations training on August 15th at TSBA in Nashville. There is a survey that TSBA has asked us to fill out by August 8th. I want to remind everyone to please fill that out. And I also sent you all the proposed agenda as well, that if you could give your input and feedback by Friday, that would be great, so that we can get it back to TSBA. And finally, I just wanted to say, we talked about the student board member policy and needing to do that last board committee meeting, if you recall. And I think we saw all the youth come and say they're ready and waiting for it. So I know that we hear you, youth, and that I believe that Ms. Stewart met with them to get their names so that she can figure out how, but they can figure out how to select the representatives that they want to put on the Policy Advisory Committee. I think that we need to be creative about trying to get a wide variety of students. So this is just one set of students. So I would definitely ask that our policy office think about how we do that and make sure we incorporate a wide perspective of students. And I want to say too that we heard the youth and we even talked about adult and youth equity training during our last board committee meeting. So I think that's something that we'll put on our board committee agenda as well. So I think that is all that we have for the policy committee report. If anybody has anything that I've missed, please let me know.
Make sure that you let Ms. Waters know if you're planning on going Thursday up to Nashville so the hotel accommodations can be made, or if you're going to stay Friday night over till Saturday. Please let her know that by Friday so she can make our hotel accommodations for which one you want to do. Which one? One. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Procurement Committee report, everything is on the agenda this evening.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I apologize. I think this is where we talk about the facilities under procurement, is that correct?
I thought it was.
Just want to make the announcement for
Go
the
ahead.
ad hoc facilities committee that's going to happen on August 13th at the TLA building at 5:30. Everyone that's on the committee should have already gotten an email, and they should have gotten a draft of the agenda. Again, we heard you. As far as scholars, we heard you. We do still have 2 slots for student representatives, and we're still looking for those 2 teachers to be nominated by the 2 teachers union. So we hear you, youth, and we are looking forward to having 2 of you represent the community in our school district as well in the facilities ad hoc committee, and that's going to be on August 13th at 5:30 at the TLA building.
We're now on to the General Counsel's report.
Good evening, board members. Interim Superintendent, no report this evening.
We're now on to Superintendent's report.
Yes, good evening, board members. Tonight I want to present the main structure of our updated organizational chart. I know people have had questions about it, which provides a clear and strategic view of how Memphis-Shelby County Schools is organized to operate more efficiently and effectively. The chart will outline the alignment of our departments and the reporting relationships to key district leaders, offering insight into how we're structuring to deliver our core priorities. While individual names in some unfilled positions have been intentionally excluded for clarity and confidentiality, the full version, including all finalized staff and details, will be uploaded to board docs for your comprehensive review. This updated organizational framework reflects our continued commitment to a leadership structure that is transparent, responsive, and grounded in accountability. More importantly, it supports our mission to ensure every action we take is rooted in putting students first, creating the conditions for academic excellence across the district. In addition to the organizational chart, we're also excited to announce the launch of our new regional structure. This model divides the district into 4 geographical regions, each led by a regional superintendent. These leaders will provide localized, consistent support to schools within their assigned region. Our focus is ensuring stronger communication, fostering problem solving, and deeper engagement with principals, teachers, families, students in our communities. This structure is also aligned with the Greatness Grows Here model, reinforcing commitment to the 5 A's, academics, athletics, arts, attitude, and attendance, each of which is essential to developing well-rounded, successful students. We'll also follow up with an update on pre-K, where we'll provide the historical context, impact, and next steps. Next slide. So the MSCS organizational chart, I wanted to start with the region first. So the regional structure, next slide. First of all, I want to thank you, board members, for supporting us around the regional structure. Next slide. Of course, you all know we mentioned our 5 A's, which are the foundation of our academic plan and our commitment to every student. Next slide. Introducing our regions. So we want to compare the organizational structure in MCS to what it was last year. Last year, we were broken up into what you would call performance networks. As you all know, we had our SOAR schools, which were our A and B schools. We had our Ignite schools, which were our C schools, and we had our D and F schools, which were our SOUP schools. And in those performance networks, they emphasize collaboration and flexibility, allowing the organization to respond quickly to changes. However, under the regional structure, the focus is on localized decision-making, enhancing the responsiveness and accountability in specific areas throughout our whole entire county. The reason for this shift is the need for better alignment and strategic focus, which will drive the shifts from performance networks to regional leadership. Next slide. Why the shift? So the performance networks to regional leadership, why? Performance-based networks, in response to the challenges, introduce performance-based networks to enhance school support and accountability. As you all know, last year we talked about ecosystems and how we pushed behavior specialists, we pushed family engagement specialists, we pushed many support staff into schools. What happened when we did that is that principals were responsible for mileage, reporting of time, and the like around those network performance structure. The shift to regions will adopt a regional model aimed at aligning schools geographically for better resource allocation. So those same resources will be in the regions and they'll be deployed. This is a better model because in the old model, I could have had to travel across town if I were a network leader versus traveling in a geographical region. Also, community engagement. The new model fosters stronger community ties, enhancing collaboration between schools and local communities. We want to have more of a community approach as we move into the regional model. Next slide. Old versus new structure, grouping principle. In the network performance-based model that we were in last year, we were placing schools by letter grade. If you recall, letter grades are fluid. Many of our letter grades changed in December, but we still left our schools in those network groupings. When you think about the regional model, it would be based on geographical feeder patterns. Next, leadership focus. We targeted our interventions, and most of the interventions were put in SOUP schools. With the regional structure, it would be community-wide support in the regions. Next, equity strategy. We focus primarily on the lowest performing schools. When you look at this, we'll focus on a broader access for all neighborhoods. Next, curriculum alignment. It was fragmented again across networks. When you look at the regional alignment, we'll be looking at what you would call vertical K-12 alignment or vertical K-16 alignment. And what that means is when we start talking about dual enrollment, when we start talking about our students who attend medical district high school who one day graduated with a diploma and the next day with an associate's degree, those are the type of things that we're talking about in the feeder pattern, regional structure is what we'll be able to look at. When you talk about CBU and how we're partnering with CBU around dual enrollment and dual credit. Next, teacher distribution. Incentives in low-rated schools, we want to balance our staffing across regions. Student programs, strong in top-rated schools. We want shared programs, again, across all regions. And we're talking about every feeder pattern, every region should have strong feeder patterns. I use the white station feeder pattern because that's probably the feeder pattern that most of our families most identify with when you're talking about a strong elementary school, a strong middle school, and a strong high school. What we want to introduce is we expect to have strong feeder patterns throughout our whole entire district in all 4 of our regions. Next, student programs, strong in top-rated schools. Well, we want shared programs across all regions. I'll mention one of our county commissioners have talked about in their particular district, there are no optional schools. Well, no one should say that. All of our schools should be optional schools. All of our schools should be strong. All of our feeder patterns should be strong. But that's what people mean when they feel as though there's not equity and access throughout our whole entire district. Next, facility planning, centralized decision. Moving to this, it'll be region-led and community-aligned plans. So when I think about city council and county commission, you're talking about super districts. Super districts are aligned east and west. So when you think about on the east side of our school system, when I looked at all of the schools in the east and started to look for a regional office, the only location we could really locate that was underutilized was the annexation at Ridgeway High School. What that tells you is that that's where many of our students have migrated. That's where many of our buildings have reached utilization levels of 90% or higher. When you think about the west side of our community, that's where we have a lot of low utilization. That's where we're going to have to do a lot of right sizing. Having that information by region helps us to make real-time decisions, particularly around facilities. Next, operation efficiency. We had 7 networks last year, and they were siloed efforts. For most of the year, those networks were not filled with a network leader. So what people should also know is that for most of the time last year, we had 5 network leaders. And in some instances, for probably about a quarter of the year, we may have only had 4 network leaders who were responsible for over 169 schools. And so that was probably close to a 35 or 40 to 1 principal to supervisor ratio. We're looking at 4 regions, 5 if you include the I-zone, which will create streamlined operations. And then last but not least, community engagement, limited and confusing. With this, we can establish local pride and clear contact points, which will be those regional offices. Next slide. And again, I wanted to go over this to just kind of explain to people the difference in the 2 organizational structures as I present the org charts. Next, key benefits of regional model, aligned K-12 curriculum. So an aligned K-12 curriculum ensures consistency in educational standards. Community connections. Stronger community connections enhance support systems for students to foster collaborative learning environments. Tracking of student growth. Aligning the curriculum makes it easier to track and support students. And lastly, balanced resource distribution. Next, retaining the best. We still will have our I-zone. We're bringing our innovative school zone back. We'll have dedicated support by region for those I-zone schools, which will serve as dedicated support, as a dedicated support region to assist our most challenged, effective schools. A new bottom 5% list of schools is coming out this fall. Targeted help and network through the I-zone, and then systemic improvements. It also focuses on broad systemic improvements derived from regional initiatives for a holistic approach. Next slide. What stakeholders asked for. So our stakeholders have asked for equity and access. Stakeholders emphasize the importance of equity and access to education and programming for all students. Support for high mobility students. As we know, our students, many of our students, about a third, move 2 to 3 times a year. So there's a strong need for tailored support systems for them. Investment in neighborhoods. We want to invest in our neighborhoods. Stakeholders have asked for increased investments in every neighborhood. I'll use turf fields, for example, in the northwest quadrant where we have Crump Stadium. That is the only turf field and is the field that is probably the most utilized in that northwest region because all of the high schools use that field except for BTW. But every other school in that quadrant, also even Hamilton, which is in the southwest, also uses that field because, again, we don't have enough turf fields and or green spaces throughout many of our under-resourced areas to accommodate all of our students and those resources that we want for them. Next, stronger feeder patterns. Creating strong feeder patterns between schools can improve student transitions and educational outcomes. Students shouldn't go to their neighborhood elementary and middle school and then want to transfer to another high school when they reach high school level. Students should want to remain in their neighborhoods. I think about the Whitehaven feeder pattern, and I think about the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone. We're going to talk about that later. Most of those students dream of going on to Whitehaven High School. Why shouldn't all of our communities, when students start in elementary school, why shouldn't they dream of participating in athletics and in the school experience within their local communities? Next slide. Our path forward, connected educational pathways. So again, focusing on feeder strength, creating seamless transitions from elementary to middle and high school. Regional accountability, organized by regions, allows for easier tracking of student progress and support, along with deployment. When we think about chronic absenteeism, many times chronic absenteeism can be traced to one home where you may have 4 or 5 students who are in that feeder pattern, but may very well be in elementary, middle, and high schools. Moving to the regional model allows us to look at that data and to attack that one home versus, again, when we were separated by networks and grades versus we were also at one time aligned by grade levels. The regional model helps us to do that better. Local leadership importance. Regional superintendents possessing knowledge of their communities. Regional superintendents are being expected to know these areas and these communities like the back of their hands. Equitable programming, sharing programming initiatives aim to eliminate disparities between have and have-not schools, promoting equity in education. I also think about when we look regionally and we start to repurpose schools, why wouldn't we have a hospitality hub in every region? So we've heard people talk about homeless families. Why wouldn't there be a hospitality hub when we start talking about closing, repurposing, merging schools? Why wouldn't we repurpose some of these schools and some of these under-resourced communities as hospitality hubs? So guess what? If I'm homeless, I can remain in the neighborhood that I have some attachment to. My family and I do not have to move all around the county in order for us to be accommodated as houseless individuals. Next slide. Recommendations for continued success. Again, the iZone support for schools, maintaining strong support for low-performing schools. We're going to continue with that. Regional support teams. Each regional office will have an ecosystem of support, and we'll talk about that when I move to the org chart. Advisory councils. Again, I'm going to use Whitehaven as an example. They have an extremely strong advisory council. First thing we want to do is to ensure all of our schools have site-based decision-making councils. We want parents to feel included and to come into the school and to take part in their child's education. But we also want to look at having advisory councils by regions, again, that are tailored to those communities. And last but not least, consistent curriculum. Keeping the curriculum consistent across regions to ensure equitable education for all students. Next slide. Reimagining leadership, inclusive leadership, transforming leadership by focusing on inclusivity and ensuring equitable resources, personalized education. Every student counts in this district. And last but not least, value perspectives. Every voice, we heard our student voice, and I want to thank those students for coming and acting and voicing themselves appropriately. We appreciate you all and we hear you. Next slide. Regional model impact, the importance of collaboration. Collaboration among educators, students, and communities is crucial. This work cannot take place in isolation within a school. It's going to take the whole entire community wrapping our arms around our schools, but also joining arms to turn these schools and communities around. Stakeholder input involving stakeholders in the educational process ensures that all needs and perspectives are considered. And last but not least, innovative practices. Implementing innovative practices can greatly enhance the learning experience and engagement of all our students. Next. These are our regional superintendents, and trust me when I tell you I didn't handpick not one single person. Every person that's part of my leadership team went through several steps toward being selected. Every one of them. Every one of them went through a panel interview. Every one of them went through 3 or 4 different tasks in order for them to reach me for a finalist interview. I've always had interview panels to interview people. I've never ever in my life selected a person arbitrarily to be a part of any team that I've ever selected. Here's the regional team. Next slide. Southwest region will be headed up by Dr. Michael Lowe. And here's the schools that represent that. Next slide. Northeast region, Dr. Kimberly Chandler. These are the schools that make up the Northeast region. Next slide. Southwest region. If you look, it's not as many schools here, and you're going to see on the next slide because many of the schools in the Southwest region currently are what we would call our iZone schools. However, even though they're with the iZone, they're still assigned to a region. So when things are happening in that region, those schools will still operate within the region. The only reason they're being pulled out is because of some of the regulatory requirements of schools that are in the bottom 5%, our CSI schools. Next slide. Dr. Terrence Britnam, let me also go back, because I want to point out, what we also tried to do is, I talk about the org chart, I tried to be careful about any disruption this year. My team and I approached what we did with a scalpel. And if you notice, you haven't had a lot of disruption, you haven't had a lot of employees. Of course, we have one-offs. We have 14,000 employees. We've tried to take every single employee into consideration. As you heard me on my Fox interview, I'm always gentle on people. I'm always taking into consideration, as well as I've told my team to take into consideration the human condition. These are human beings that we're dealing with, and we always want to deal with people with compassion. And so if you go back, I want to kind of give you my thinking. All of these people interviewed unless they were already in a role that was similar, okay? Dr. Chandler was a network leader. Dr. Chandler, Dr. Britnum, and Dr. Fox. They were network leaders. Being that they were network leaders, there was a title change for them because the regional superintendent model, based on the number of schools that they had last year and them meeting those qualifications, which required you to have led a cadre of schools with proving results, okay? We vetted those individuals last year. The only reason Dr. Lowe and Ms. Brooks received the interview is because they had experience in leading a cadre of schools. You couldn't have just led one school. You have had to have worked in upper administration leading a cadre of schools to even qualify to be in these roles. Next slide. Dr. Lowe, next slide. Northeast region, next slide. Southwest region, as I explained to you about Ms. Brooks. Next slide. Dr. Britnum, next slide. Dr. Fox, iZone, next slide. I also want to point out this. This is what some people may call the portfolio that we have as Memphis-Shelby County Schools, but I'd like to call it the choice portfolio. And for the listening public, here's the breakdown of regions. What we like to do, and this, at one time when we went through the merger, we called it the multiple paths to autonomy. And what this was really set up for is for principals and schools and communities to earn a certain level of autonomy based on how well your school did, the effectiveness of your principal, the effectiveness of your teachers. But I wanted to give you all this perspective so you would have, again, another way of looking at what our choice portfolio looks like across Shelby County, because many times people don't really understand it, okay? So we're moving into these 4 regions. We eventually would like to have an Office of Innovation, and that Office of Innovation will look at autonomy, it'll look at how charters as well as our traditional schools can better work together. We'll test different types of innovation. So we have our iZone there, but you also see I put in there the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone because they've approached me about possibly having that back. And so I've added it here because I could see other communities wanting innovation zones, but we need to define what will that look like and how will communities earn having those empowerment zones. Then next you see our pre and existing charters, which is 55 charters. I wanted you all to see that. And then I wanted you all to see at the state of Tennessee, you still have the ASD that still has a set of charters. Also, you have a charter commission. So I wanted you to see how our portfolio is shaping up and how it looks across our county. Next slide. Thank you. That concludes, again, while we're moving from networks to regionalization, okay? Next slide. I want to give you all a very high level of the organizational chart, and then I'll take questions. Next slide. Office of Superintendent, these are my direct reports. Go back. These are my direct reports. I want to explain this for you. When the Council of Great City Schools came back, they wanted me to select in that academic audit, they wanted me to select 3 deputy superintendents and about 5 assistant superintendents. I've heard people talk about we are top-headed. My team and I have told them we're going to do more with less because people still think that we are top-headed. Dr. Whitelaw was, and I didn't want to have 3 deputy superintendents because people would have said we are extremely top-headed. Dr. Whitelaw was the deputy superintendent. She's now the chief academic officer. So what we did was went to a C-suite. Mr. Langston was the assistant superintendent of business operations. He's now the chief of business operations. The audit also said that we needed to bring academics all together and all of student support services together. I have a chief of student support services, and you're going to see how all of that work has been brought together. Chief of staff, the prior administration had an assistant to the superintendent. It's interchangeable. Chief of business operations, Mr. Langston. Chief of human resources, that is Ms. Oliver, who I recruited to come here. We posted, she came, and I thought that was a win for the district to get someone who was the HR person at FedEx to want to come here. The number 1 employer, you want to come and work for the number 2 employer. Regional superintendents will report to me. Strategic communications, that's Mr. Johnson, he's remained at the same level. Research and evaluation, that's Mr. White, he's remained at the same level. Interim chief of safety and security was Carolyn Jackson, who has returned to help us shore up, which I've shared with you all. And then our facilities officer is Miss Michelle Stewart. Next slide. If you look at all of these, this is my office, that's Tammy Edwards and Audrey Smith, and then the chief of staff. Next slide. General counsel, next slide. This is general counsel. I will point out on this slide, labor and employee rights is probably a shared management relationship between HR and general counsel. Office of Economic Opportunities is probably, again, a shared responsibility between business ops and general counsel. And internal audit is probably a shared management relationship between general counsel and myself. But when general counsel started to report to the board, these were the roles and responsibilities that were put underneath him. And so those things have remained until the board says that we can or should move them. Next slide. Chief of staff, we have director of K-16 strategies, our pathway to greatness. That's Ms. Monica Jordan. Family and community engagement, I haven't touched those departments. The people who've been leading those departments are the same, and the departments are still the same as they were last year. And that's Dr. Stevenson, and that's Ms. Rogers in partnerships and advancement. Next slide. Communications, that's Mr. Johnson. Communications has remained the same. Nothing has changed. Next slide. Oh, and let me add this. The departments, I gave a heavy focus on academics. My focus has mainly been on academics, but I'm going to start to focus on business operations, would be the next department that I focus on, as well as communications. Those 2 departments are 2 departments that, and it's some things in HR that we need to look at that I'll be moving toward. But my main focus this year in stabilizing the district and preparing us to move forward has been a focus on academics, because that's what has to move the needle for us. Next slide. Research and evaluation, that's Mr. White. That department is the same. Next slide. Academics, as I shared with you all, next slide, Dr. Whitelaw. And because that department is so robust, Ms. Kiner has moved into a deputy CAO role, because that's a lot. That's a lot. And again, the Council of Great City Schools said, make it a deputy and to have 2 assistant superintendents in this department. Still trying to remain lean. Next slide. Regional superintendents, I've talked to you all about regional soups and the ecosystem. I want to talk about the instructional leadership coaches, and I want to introduce them, but let me give this caveat. Last year at this time, we did not have principal coaches in the budget. Around August, maybe September, Mr. Langston can tell me for sure, they were added to the budget. They were added to the budget, but we never selected the principal coaches. Once we got deep into the year to select, most of the time people who are going to serve as principal coaches are going to be principals. I did not want to disrupt schools. It's too important. So we did not hire principal coaches during the school year. So I want the public to know, as well as the board, these are not new positions that have been added. These 10 positions were in the budget last year. We just did not hire for them. I'd like to introduce our instructional leadership coaches who also went through an extremely rigorous interview process. Miss Grace Bailey from Nashville, please stand. Let's give Miss Bailey a round of applause. Miss Ashley Callery from Nashville. Miss Charlotte Danley from White Station Middle. Dr. Drayton Hawkins. Is Dr. Hawkins here? He's from Oak Ridge. I'm gonna just tell you where he's from. Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Reward School, letter grade A school at a high school. We recruited him to Memphis, and we're excited to have him. Next, we have Miss Cherie Jones. Miss Jones, please stand. Miss Jones was a network leader. She had not led a cadre of schools, so we placed Miss Jones as an instructional leadership coach. And I want to thank her because she has been an exemplary principal in school turnaround. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Next, we have Ms. Kimbra McBride. Is Ms. McBride in? Ms. McBride was not a Memphis-Shelby County Schools employee. She was recruited back to the district. Also, Dr. Leviticus Pointer. Dr. Pointer. Dr. Pointer has done school turnaround. Dr. Pointer was one of our former instructional leadership directors. And when you see the data that comes out of Kirby High from what Dr. Pointer did this past year as the principal, it was extremely impressive. So I want to thank Dr. Pointer for his service. Next, we have Dr. Janice Tankston. Dr. Tankston. Dr. Tankston has been leading schools. She was our assistant superintendent, and Dr. Tankston has taken the role of one of our instructional leadership coaches. The last time she was an instructional leadership director, she did outstanding work with many of the schools that were in the Southwest region. So I want to thank Dr. Tankston, and that's where she'll serve as an instructional leadership coach. Next, we have Miss Vita Turner, and I don't know if Miss Vita Turner is here. Miss Vita Turner was a late add-on to the team, Miss Vita Turner. And so currently we have 9 instructional leadership coaches. We haven't decided if we're going to post the last one. Again, if we need it, we will. If we do not need it, I believe in not being wasteful and being someone who values the resources of our school system and the resources of our community. Next slide. Student Support Services. I want to introduce Dr. Broadway. Dr. Broadway, who's joined us from Allentown. She was also recruited in by way of interview. Next slide. Human Resources. Again, I can't say enough about Miss Oliver, Miss Christopher Oliver, who's joined us. We want to thank Miss Oliver. Next slide. Business Operations is headed up by Mr. Tito Langston. And Tito he still wears a lot of hats, and I want to thank him for all the hats that he wears. Thank you, Brother Langston, for that. Next slide. Facilities, Miss Michelle Stewart. We want to thank Miss Stewart for her work. I really appreciate Ms. Stewart. Next slide. Safety and security, again, Major Jackson, Interim Chief of Safety and Security. Next slide. And I think that's it in regards to regionalization and the new org structure. Again, this is a high-level org structure. The rest of it is about 100 slides. I didn't want to waste. It would have taken almost probably 2 hours to go through, an hour and a half to go through all of the slides. I'll take any questions regarding the regional structure, org chart, and then we're going to go into Ms. Gordon reporting out on pre-K. So any questions regarding those two items?
Board Member Love, Board Member McKinney, Board Member Porter, Board Member Williams.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a couple of questions. The first thing I want to do is thank everybody for their positions. It deserves a hand clap. Dr. Richmond has been working. And the best is yet to come, with all of us collaborating on students only. But I do have a couple of questions. For the feeder patterns, I am a strong component of feeder patterns. And I have a suggestion.
Yes, ma'am.
The principals of the feeder patterns are going to have to get to know the elementary schools and the middle schools before they come to the high schools. No student, especially Raleigh, Egypt, and Oak Haven, they should be so close connected that each other smell their perfume. They are on the same campus, and most of those kids generate from the the elementary school to the high school, and so on. The community engagement people, they have to know the schools in which they serve. The only way we're going to be straightforward with the parents is they have to know the issues that are going on in those schools. I share a district with Amber, Hewitt or Garcia, and Natalie McKinney. The presentation says that they are not in my region, but my address is zoned to Amber Hewitt Garcia School. And they are going to have to talk to the network providers to get the most benefit from the students and the parents. It's same as Natalie. I am excited.
I'm excited too.
Yeah. If everything pans out, this will be a successful year. Students and parents and principals and the community working together.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Richmond. This is an example of some good hard work. And I want to say thank you to you and to your team. So thank you very much. With that said, it's a lot. And so I would appreciate, as we move through the year, that we highlight how this work, so that the community and we understand how this is all flowing. So I really appreciate that. A few observations. The curriculum alignment. I really appreciate you thinking about how you're aligning curriculum within these regions so that we can have that fluid from elementary to middle to high school. For instance, if I'm interested in STEM, then I can do that all the way through in my community. But if I do move or I want to go somewhere else, I can still go to those other regions and pick up. Right? So aligned curriculum is absolutely important. And so I appreciate that, and also given the transitory nature of some of our families. I do want to make sure that people understand, and I said that because people might have questions about the impact on choice. And so could you make sure that you explain very clearly that this feeder pattern does not impact choice? In fact, the way you're looking at it encourages choice.
Yep. Parents can still apply for choice and open enrollment transfers. However, what we're wanting to do is for parents to be happy and satisfied with the schools right there within their communities so that they do not have to apply for transfers. But again, open enrollment and optional school transfers will continue even though we'll implement regions across.
Okay. And you were speaking my language when every school should be optional. I don't know what an optional elementary school looks like. Every elementary student should be learning the same thing and have the same high quality. So I appreciate that. And finally, investments in neighborhoods. You talked about how that's going to be important as we look at our facilities and how we are using our buildings and thank you for being honest and forthright, because I think we all have been saying we're gonna have to close and consolidate schools because there are some that are underutilized. And so that's why we're working with the community, with our community advocates, and we're working with our community with expertise to help us think through that process.
And an example, Board Member McKinney, of really repurposing, and I want to thank Ms. Stewart and her team, is we repurposed again Ridgeway High School Annex. It used to be a 9th grade academy. It had been closed. I want to thank Chair Coleman and Board Member Murphy for attending the ribbon cutting of that particular regional office. But now within that building, which was closed, we have our 2 East Region offices that are in there, as well as our virtual schools program. So what we've done is we've repurposed that building, and that building now is serving again as a hub for our regional offices, as well as a hub for our grades 4-12 virtual school and our adult virtual schools. And so those are some of the innovative things we want to do when it comes to repurposing buildings that may not be being utilized.
Thank you, and I'm going to correct you. It's not if, it's when this works out. It's going to be phenomenal, this regional structure. Not if, when.
Board Member Porter.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, too, Superintendent. It does seem like you have your armor in place, and I am excited about the work ahead. But given the fact that when we talk about having a clean slate, that how will your regional superintendents be held accountable for the feeder pattern outcomes?
Thank you for that question. Every region is going to have a scorecard, and that scorecard will filter up to me. So we'll be cascading. So when we start to look at the data across the regions, for example, if we're at 29.5% in ELA for grades 3 through 5, and we're adding 5 or 10% to that, each one of those regions will be responsible for being somewhere in the ballpark of 38 or 39% proficient in ELA in grades 3 through 5. Well, what does that look like when you look at all of your elementary schools in grades 3 through 5 and looking at where they were with proficiency and adding that percentage point? So that means everybody's scorecard and expectations and accountability will be linked together. So when we talk about instructional leadership coaches, they'll have a set of schools, the regional superintendent will have a set of schools, and all of them, along with their schools, will have scorecards. And we'll be working closely with our research, evaluation, and accountability department for each school to know this is your target. Now, as a district, we may have a district target, but each school will have their own individual target. So if I'm at 40% proficiency, then that means you need to increase by 5%, not regress. Okay, so your target next year would be 45%. So what regional superintendents and instructional leadership coaches would be doing would be helping schools to set their targets around proficiency. So collectively, we can move the needle. One thing that we've never done in this district, or it's been a long time, is we've never set, we tried to do it this year by setting a goal of a 5% increase or hitting 30%. We set a goal of 30% in grades 3 through 5 around ELA, the team will tell you. We hit 29.1%. We have to start setting goals, whether they're smart or ambitious, for our schools to aspire to hit. And then that requires you to look at every single student and how to move those students toward proficiency in order to accomplish those goals. And once we get some of those individual report cards in place, I'll bring them to the board so you all will know what the goals I've set for myself and how those goals have funneled down through the organization.
Board Member Williams.
It looks real good to me, but I'm concerned, and I have one concern, and that is these curriculums that will be taught in these classrooms will be across the district, I'm sure. They are not doing what they want to do. We will have a department that will disseminate information that children will be held accountable for to learn to pass the test. I hear parents say, we haven't seen this, haven't done this, and I'm sure, I just do know that the lifeblood of the district is the curriculum. If it is taught to children at the appropriate time in the appropriate place, they will do well, and they can cascade up and cascade back. But you said something about the Whitehaven Empowerment Zone, and that's sort of what they do out there. I think I've learned that. And that's one of the reasons Whitehaven High School has been so successful with numbers. And that counts and it helps. But I think that it's a good, we've had this before, as you say. We've had regionals before. And before, when Harrington was here, they would call something, we had actual area superintendent offices. So we've had a lot of this is old, but it's new again, and you are very familiar with it because you were a part of it. And I am thankful for the people who've chosen to come to Memphis to work and to help us in this work. But be thankful and be thoughtful of the citizens of Memphis and the students in this district and what they deserve and can do.
Yes, sir.
And if the curriculum is strong,
yes, sir,
they will do well.
Well, I'm going to share this with you, Board Member Williams. What we've done in listening to teachers and principals, we've done lesson plans and PowerPoint presentations for all of our teachers. So one thing we've taken off the teachers' plate, I want to give thanks to Ms. Kiner and Dr. Whitelaw and the entire academic team. I want to give them a round of applause. Dr. Maples. We've listened to teachers and we've done lesson plans and PowerPoint. So the delivery of instruction should be easier for our teachers, particularly our teachers that we know are inexperienced and who are possibly working on a permit.
It's because teachers are in such broad areas and schools are so spread out, sometimes they don't know what's going on in every school. There was a time when everybody had to be on the same page at the same time and covered all of the information, and you knew it because you could see it. So I'm just hopeful that the regions will come back together and make that happen in these regions whereby teachers will be the most vital part of this whole thing. If they buy into it and teach what is given, it will work. If they feel lost in this charade, then they won't work because they'll say, we don't know what you're doing. But they have to have access. The materials have to be there. The books have to be there. Whatever you go has to be done, and it has to be cited in writing for you to see it, for everyone else to see. But I thank you for this very healthy
yes, sir.
Document, and I hope that it is followed to the letter of the law.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And we also, board members, if you all recall, we have sent you a draft of the academic plan.
Yes, yes. Board Member Huey Garcia.
Thank you. I'm going to start with a couple technical questions and then just a couple comments and reminders for my colleagues just to put out there. My first technical question is, are the new state requirements for the priority schools included in the schools that we've identified as I-zone? I know there's a new tiering system for priority schools. Are we?
Not at this time, because a new list is supposed to come out this fall.
Okay.
The list of schools we have currently are the schools that make up the old list, and partly because they're still receiving school improvement grant and turnaround action grant dollars.
Okay, I appreciate that. I think what was clear to me from this presentation is that the bet that you're making is that giving staff the highest and best use of their time and efficiency was lacking. And I appreciate there was a lot of difference drawing in the models, and that came out to me and honestly heard from staff. I think the academic outcomes, the plan on paper sounds great to me. I think tying these to academic outcomes that we hope, what is the continuous improvement and shared learning across these regions? I liked Board Member Porter's comment or questions about accountability in those regional report cards. I would encourage us to review those as a board, and thinking about our main role in the budget is, given what we're accomplishing in regions, what do we need to shift investments to? We have the ability to make a budget amendment. If you need that new position, we trust you to make that decision, show us the outcomes, and show us where we are making progress or not making progress. So I think I want to know, how do these tie to your strategic plan goals that you've set personally in your own performance? And then the last comment would be, I appreciate the academic audit being included in the Council of Great City Schools and experts coming in and evaluating what we really need, because what we want to be is the best urban school district in the country. And looking at what other districts are doing is key to that. So thank you so much, and I think the public will probably have more questions, and we will continue to see this, but I'm excited to see it evolve.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Board Member Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Richmond, I appreciate this academic plan. It is tedious, it is well planned, and I appreciate that. And what I really like about this is that the aligned curriculum, and that our children now will have the opportunity, if they have to leave one school and they'll go to the next school and they'll fall right in, instead of them being either behind or ahead of each other. And so that plan works excellent. Even when it comes to our TCAP test, everybody is on the same level. And so I am excited about this plan. I'm excited about the academic team. This is really good, and thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, one more thing, I'm sorry. Point of order. Sorry, one more thing. When it comes to neighborhoods, me and Michelle and I are working on some things right now that we're trying to move forward, and so it actually lines up with your academic plan and what we're trying to do in the neighborhoods.
Yes, ma'am.
Board Member McKissick.
Dr. Richmond, thank you for this very robust report. I'd like to kind of address the elephant in the room, though, because, we've been through a very tumultuous period over the last several months, and but I am impressed with what you presented today. And I want to say, first of all, thank you to all the amazing staff and all that's gone into that. I'm so thankful for you, and especially our educators, as we are on the cusp of a new school year. But what are you going to do to relay this to the community, the parents? They've been through a lot, and they've spoken about distrust, to help them understand what this really is and how this is going to be beneficial for them, that we're truly now refocused back on students and families and making things better for our community. Because, you were talking about communications, how you're going to really focus on that. I think that's a really big part, because as my colleague mentioned, that this is a lot even for us to take in. It's very robust, but it is impressive. And how do you plan on connecting that with the community and restoring that trust through this plan that you've laid out?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that. Anytime you're doing, and I've explained to our team, this is what you would call somewhat change management. And so we'll have a communications plan to start to roll it out, where, again, regional superintendents, their instructional leadership coaches, they'll then contact principals. The communications team, as a matter of fact, in my parent newsletter most recently, we've already communicated to parents that we're moving toward regionalization, but there will be a broader communications plan. I just wanted to bring it to you all first, so you'd be able first to see the org chart. I'd be able to kind of explain more in detail what regionalization was and how it differed from the networks on last year. But there will be a rollout of this plan so that, again, people in the community can better understand it.
I guess I'm also looking, just one last thing, just if you could just, there's the camera, just kind of speak to the heart, honestly. And we get all these technical terms and jargon, whatever, but just like you are very much immersed in this community, you've been a part of this district a long time, and just to share, like, what does this mean in real plain language to speak and to connect with families about trust and how this is a part of rebuilding trust?
Yes, ma'am. Well, part of rebuilding trust is to, again, push our resources and support into the communities, where communities are not having to come to Hollywood or Glenn Rogers Boulevard to solve issues or problems. They can solve the issues or problems or share their voice in their communities. And regionalization will allow that by us having those regional offices where parents can come to the regional office or teachers can come to the regional office. They don't have to travel to the TLA. When you have an opportunity to go to the Ridgeway Annex, which is now that regional office, you'll see where we'll be able to deliver professional development right there on site. So teachers can come there, parents can come there. Even when I was thinking about our food pantries, as we start to look at doing our food pantries, we can do food pantries from our regional offices. So the regional office becomes the hub for everything within that community. So again, it's not a centralized approach. It's a decentralized approach where we're better supporting families and parents right there in their communities.
Thank you for sharing that in plain language. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Board Member Love.
I have 2 questions and 2 comments. I know you stated that the curriculum is going to be universal. All kids don't learn the same, and they don't learn at first. Several kids do. They can catch on right at the drop of a hat. But several kids need to instruct day after day. How are you going to address that?
Yes, thanks for that question. And again, when you all look at our pathway to greatness, it's broken up into pre-K through 2, and then grades 3 through 5, grades 6 through 8, 9 through 12, and the like. When you look at the academic plan is also broken up like that. So when we're talking about the curriculum, whenever you're delivering the curriculum, you know that some students are going to grasp the standard and some students are not. So teachers have to be prepared to do what's called a both and. For those students who grasp it, you let them move on. For those students who don't, that's why we have interventions and we have the multi-tiered system of support. The next thing will be, how are we using those interventions at tier 2 and tier 3 to help get those students caught up, whether it's caught up on grade level or reteaching those standards that they may not be understanding first time around.
And Michelle hit on my next question. In my district, there is a Fraser Neighborhood Council that meets, Fraser Exchange Club, that meets every week at Ed Rice Community Center at 12 o'clock Thursdays. There is a Raleigh community meeting that meets every Tuesday at 11:45. That is spearheaded by Charlie Caswell. The North Haven community meets every month at 6 o'clock. I don't know the date. Woodstock community meets every month at I don't know the date. The North Shelby County meets every month at Olympic Steakhouse at 5:30.
I'll be there.
That's why I left the other night.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I totally understand. That's why, again, my team and I'll use Ms. Rogers for example. We do all types of huddles where we bring all organizations together who may have a common goal. And so when I think about all of that going on in what you would call the Northwest Corridor region, that's where Dr. Britnam and his team will be supporting those schools and those organizations, providing outreach and partnership to see if we can get all of those individuals at the table. So again, they can do the type of work that needs to be done to change that entire community. We've got to look for ways for all of us to get on the same page to better our communities, and that means alignment of our goals.
And the final question is, your cabinet is going to instruct the principals and the students. They have to know the policies and what you expect. They are going to be in charge of the schools. You're holding them accountable. Teachers and principals are going to have to listen to them. And they are going to have to know policies and protocol and state law.
Yes, ma'am. We had this discussion on yesterday at approximately 4:30 in the evening.
Board Member McKinney.
Thank you. Last go around. I appreciate all of my colleagues, McKissick and Love, talking about community and how we begin to build trust through interaction and conversation. I think it is a joint effort. This is a governance team where it's the board and the superintendent. So I would love to, we had the communications plan, and that included including us as ambassadors. We talked about, in the community engagement meeting, we talked about community listening sessions. So I think that works both ways. So I think we as a board collectively have to do this work in, one, we got to understand it. And then two, we have to be the ambassadors, and we need to do this in a very coordinated way and make sure that we're doing this together. And then when, I think what she's saying is they meet, and so sometimes we can go meet with them. But also I like that convening them so they can all hear the same thing. Because sometimes they have the same issues, they're just not talking to each other. And so coming together collectively and coming up with solutions. So I want to make sure that our board understands that this is not just the superintendent's responsibility, it's all ours. We got to do it. And then so I appreciate that.
We understand. Thank you.
Board Member Hugh Garcia.
Thank you. We've talked about this in a one-on-one check-in, and just want to say this into the public. I think this regional approach is an opportunity for strengthened partnerships, and we have so many people who want to come help Memphis-Shelby County schools, and I think that is often a neighborhood place-based pride or tied to business or the future of particular neighborhoods, right? So I think we haven't figured that out. You and I have talked about that, but I do think that is an opportunity. So figuring out what that point of entry is, I trust you to come up with the plan, but just wanted to say partnerships that are based on this regional model, I think are something we need to figure out to get all of the resources that you're talking about to the students that need them in our communities. So thank you.
I totally agree. Thank you.
Thank you for this plan. We're ready to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not a one person's plan.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Next, I want Ms. Gordon to come quickly and to present. I also want to let the board know I didn't introduce principals tonight. I will bring principals in August, new principal announcements, but they have gear up tonight, and so I didn't want to pull them out of their schools. So at this time, Ms. Gordon, would you jog through?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Dr. Richmond. Thank you very much, and board chair, along with the commissioners. I wanted to give the listening public and the board a just high-level overview of where we are after the loss of Head Start. As many of you know, Head Start is a highly regulated, federally funded program, and that we have strict guidelines and performance standards that we must follow on a day-to-day basis. That program allows us to be able to serve the whole child from a comprehensive approach looking at the health, education, and also our family engagement support. I also want to note that every allegation and every incident that we've had, we have operated transparently with the board, the superintendent, senior leadership, along with our policy council. And I want the team to know that we have worked very hard to make sure that we have done right by this Head Start grant. So if you go to the first slide, next slide. So just for a little history overview, in 2003, Shelby County government decided to dissolve its partnership with Shelby County, Inc., moving that 16 central operations to Shelby County government, serving a little over 2,000 kids. In 2005, they reached out and they recruited and hired a new Head Start director, and that Head Start director came in and established a partnership with the district, establishing an MOU, giving the district $1.5 million in contracted services, and then the partnership of the Ridgeway Early Learning Center was created. Ridgeway Early Learning Center became the district's first preschool operated school building, and that principal that was hired to operate that program was me. So if you go to the next slide. In 2007, the Shelby County government decided to look at expanding its collaboration with Port Elite. Of course, that proposal was denied based upon some cultural sensitivity issues. And then in 2013, the county mayor decided not to reapply for the grant, and they urged Port Elite to bid out, and local leaders pushed for the Shelby County School District to apply for the grant instead. In 2014, the district applies for the grant and receives this grant, and we became the grantee within a partnership with Port Elite immediately. Next slide. So in 2014, and after the county mayor carefully reviewed its current status with Head Start, it realized that they were not operating at full capacity, and the grant was written to serve 3,200 children, and they were only serving a little over 2,000. They also were concerned about some of the compliance operation issues that they had. They were really looking at how they were operating this particular grant, looking at transportation concerns that were identified, staffing, and then teacher credentialing issues. So then we decided to transition to make sure that we were able to still service the students in Shelby County, and that's when the district went into a collaboration with Port Elite to expand their operation services across the district. In 2021, the district decided to end the partnership collaboration with Port Elite, and the district became the full operating grantee for those program services. I also would like to add, no organization that has operated and governed over this preschool grant has operated without allegations and deficiencies and infractions. Next slide. So this is our current funding structure for the department. The regional office gave us transition funds, so we have a little over $4.9 million to close out Head Start. We're currently working with the regional office and Port Elite to transition this program seamlessly so that operations can continue on. Under our VPK grant, we have a little over $8.8 million. We also still have our local grant with First Aid. This is based upon our 24-25 because we have not received our updated contracts with them, and I will be bringing those to you very soon. Fund 1, we have $6.3 million, which gives us a total of $29,177,855.80 to operate the existing programs that we have within our department. Next slide.
So right now, this just gives you a picture of how we will be serving our children and the total number of children for each funding source. VPK will be 1880. We will go into a new SPED inclusive collaboration with Exceptional Children Office, really looking at our preschool opportunities to allow our students with disabilities to be placed in our typical classrooms. And so we're looking at serving an additional 260 students. In Fund 1, we will serve 460, and with First Aid, 1,000, which gives our service portfolio of 3,600 students, which gives us a program department reduction of 1,500. As you know, the Head Start grant was for 3,200 children. We did operate Head Start and VPK as a blended fund process, which shows how we have been able to do that, and now we will operate VPK independently, which leaves us a difference of 1,500 seats. Next slide. So the impact. Under the application, when the potential grantees apply for the grant, they have all of the opportunity to apply for the facilities portfolio. Port Elite has asked for all of the centers, which is Covered and Pike, Delano, Douglas, and Hanley, along with Ridgeway Early Learning Center. We will work with our facilities officer to transfer those deeds to Port Elite for them to operate as a Head Start center. We will still have Shady Grove Early Learning Center because that was one of our schools that we repurposed to be a early learning center, and we will operate VPK and Fund 1 inside of that center. Shady Grove will not be impacted. Next slide. So the impact on the central office staff, I want to applaud my team, the HR team. We have really worked very hard to ensure that every teacher, every child care educator was eligible for a permit, and the teacher assistants have all been placed in the district in their classrooms. So that staff will not be impacted. The impacted staff will be the 142 central office staff, which includes leadership and management, 32 positions, finance, 5 positions, the family and school support, which is our largest group, which is the 89 family engagement specialists, 1 IT tech, clerical 3 positions, and facilities team 12. We had an informational meeting with the Head Start impacted staff today, and I worked very diligently with the senior leadership team and Dr. Richmond on yesterday to really come up with 5 opportunities to be able to hold on to these 142 individuals. And so if you will fast forward to the next slide, I will show you how we'll be able to provide those individuals with opportunities. So all of the staff that is eligible to receive a permit, we will be working with the licensure office within Human Resources to get those individuals, because we do have some family engagement specialists, behavior specialists, and individuals in our office that have worked in schools and maybe have a desire to be a teacher. Many of them indicated that on the sheet that they signed in today that they were interested in becoming a teacher, and we will work with those individuals to get permits. The specialized educational assistant opportunities that we have within the district, there is a plethora of those positions, and it is really comparable, that current salary is comparable to what we are currently paying our family engagement specialists. So we will offer those individuals opportunities to be, a SCA. Also, there will be opportunities within the Memphis-Shelby County Schools, various departments across the district, IT, communications, CNC. So there are several opportunities, custodial operations, where individuals who desire to work in those opportunities to qualify could be transitioned to those buildings. And then also just reimagining what the early childhood office is going to look like. There's going to be some central office changes, and so there will be opportunities within that, within our department for them to apply. And then after we level set and we have vetted and we have interviewed and we placed individuals with the opportunities, if there are some individuals that are still left that are not placed, Port Elite will be having their job fair this Friday, and we are making sure that that staff get that information to attend the job fair. Next slide. Next steps, we will engage with legal, budget, and finance to make sure that this transition is seamless. changing over and transitioning everything to the new grantee. We have 120 days to close out our program. We will be working lockstep with the Office of Head Start and the Port Elise leadership team to ensure that this is done expeditiously so they can begin school operations, center operations as well. We'll be working with our facilities team to do some disposal of one of our centers, which is Georgian Hills, because it sits on the grounds of Georgia Hill Middle School, and we have not operated or used that facility in about 7 years. Ensure the compliance. We will transfer all furniture, materials, supplies, technology, everything that is outlined on the grant that the new grantee is requesting. We will make sure that we transition all those materials so they're able, especially those things that are paid with federal funds. Next slide. We will conduct a walkthrough with the team to just make sure that the buildings are ready to assess what all we would need to remove, especially when we're looking at our district's security equipment, our A-phone systems that will only be used for our districts. And then I'll close out just making sure that we are working with the senior leadership team and the superintendent to make sure that we close out and that we meet all the contractual obligations under the federal Head Start regional office. There's a checklist that we must follow, and so we must give them weekly updates. And then we're going to build back better. As we know, the COVID impact the early childhood department where we lost certified staff. So we will be trying to build our staff. No, we are going to build our staff, our program, to ensure that we're able to petition to the state to receive our 18 classes back, which will give us 360 students, and then also begin to establish what that birth to two collaboration would be with our local hospitals, child care agencies, and local organizations, because we really want to make sure that from birth to we want to make sure that they will begin to work with those collaborations to make sure that those students are preschool ready when we receive them in our programs. So now I will pause for questions.
Vice Chair Love.
How will you communicate this to the parents?
So we have sent out several communications via email. We are working with the communications chief and the team. We've sent out social media videos. I have a person that is managing our email account. I'm receiving emails now. We're responding to parents. We're taking the phone calls. We're working with parents individually, but parents should have received communication directly in their email from us. If they filled out an application, communication was sent out to them. So they should check their email address.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
I have another question. The centers that are going to Port Elise, how will you decide the parents that Covington Pike Head Start? I know a family that applied for Covington Pike Head Start. Will they still get the opportunity to go to Covington Pike Head Start?
So I'll say this. What the team has done right now, if they are a 4-year-old, we have been able to place those students in adjacent schools. If they are a 3-year-old, because the current funding structure that we have give priority to 4-year-olds, we will be working lockstep with Port Elise to ensure that those families are served either in Memphis-Shelby County schools or in the Port Elise portfolio of program service areas. So we will be working with them to make sure we will give them the wait list for all of our programs, making sure first the parents have to agree to allow us to disclose that information and give that change over to them. But the parents will also have the opportunities to work with them directly.
That is all.
Board Member McKissick.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to take a moment to say thank you, Ms. Gordon, for all of your hard work and for your team. I know that I've been there with you in years past, doing walkthroughs of pre-K centers and during the whole certification process, and I know the integrity you bring to all of this, and I'm impressed with what you have done, you and your team, to make sure to accommodate as many people as possible. Those are lives who were potentially going to lose their jobs. So I know this is a very difficult time, but it's all for the betterment of our children, and that's how I'm looking at it, and that we're all going to work together. So I love the plan that you've laid out. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Board Member McKinney, Board Member Murphy.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Gordon, for this excellent work that you've done in making sure that we have a smooth transition. And so you should give yourself kudos, you and your team, for getting this done.
Thank you for that.
I do have a question about the transfer of deed to Port Leaf of the actual facilities. So I'm always optimistic. So I'm thinking, and I'm Dr. Richmond, and I don't know that, you know, in the next iteration of this, if we were to apply and get it, what happens? Are there right to reversion? I don't know if this is tied to the grant. I just want to be clear about the facilities.
So the facilities are connected to the grant. The grantee will apply. So when you post the application, you put the portfolio of what comes with the program. We included all the facilities, which will be all the centers, everything that we have purchased with the federal dollars, which include the vehicles, computers, technology, printers, all of those things were listed, the furniture, even the furniture in the classroom, everything that we have purchased with the federal funds, which they have included in their application, goes to the new grantee.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
And we will work, of course, with the facilities team to make sure that we do our due diligence to make sure that the paperwork and everything is done correctly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member McKinney, for that question. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted Ms. Gordon to come and to share the presentation, because I think there was some misinformation floating around. One of the things being that every 5 years, this particular grant is competitively bidded out every 5 years. So we wanted people to know that. We also wanted people to know that each and every person who has overseen this grant has had some problems. And I say that not in a cavalier way, but just saying when people are coming out and evaluating what's happening in pre-K, they're trained to find something. They're trained to find something. And when you talk about the number of classes and centers that we have, everyone has had some corrective actions that they have had to improve. And so I wanted the board and the general public to know that.
Board Member Murphy, Board Member Hugh Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Gordon, thank you so much. Thank you for a great presentation, and I love the fact that you adjusted quickly and you made it work, not just for the team, but you made it work for the children, and that everybody will be in their proper places when schools start back. So thank you so much, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a clarification on the funded enrollment for 2025 to 26. We note an enrollment reduction of 1,500 seats, but I thought the grant was for a greater number than that. And that, so we increased different types of funding in other areas too?
No, ma'am, we did not. Remember, Head Start and VPK worked in tandem together to maximize the VPK classroom funding. So we operated our VPK classrooms with the Head Start grant. VPK paid for the teacher, the Head Start paid for the teacher assistant and the comprehensive services that we provided for those children, because the state does not give us dollars for comprehensive services. To maximize our portfolio to make sure that all classes receive the same services, we worked and blended the funds to maximize, so which is why you do not see a $3,200 student reduction. We decreased it only by 1,500.
Okay, that's really helpful. So I have one more specific question about teachers, and this may be then I may have a question for our finance team. You said we retained all of our teachers. How many teachers did we retain? What does this mean?
We will now have a portfolio of 175 classrooms.
Okay, so we don't have any, we have no vacancies in our pre-K.
We have plenty of opportunities within our pre-K portfolio where we're able to move people around and to secure everyone. So the greatest thing about it is that we were even able to give teachers who were child care educators an opportunity to get a permit for them to start to begin the work to be a licensed classroom teacher.
Yeah, I think the pathways that you've laid out are really clear, and as much as we can retain talent to the district, we should. So I think that's really helpful. My last maybe sort of joint questions are about the budget. Are we having to cover any of the costs for our continued programming from the general budget, or all of the, Tita looking at me, Chief Langston, I'm sorry. Do we have to transition anything from the general budget to cover this new structure? Whoever would like to answer that.
I'll let Mr. Langston, he seems anxious to want to answer it for us.
He's trying not to talk the whole meeting. You got to it's 8:01, come on.
Thank you, Dr. Richmond. Thank you, Board Member Garcia, for the question. As Ms. Gordon alluded to, one of the things that we've been doing is blending funding. I will be transparent to say that our VPK classes, the VPK grant has been covering teachers, as she alluded to, and Head Start previously with the $29 million has been covering for ed assistants. So now with our general fund, there's about 147 ed assistants that we'll still need to keep our VPK funding, and it's going to be about $3.3 million that we'll cover in our general fund to keep this number of seats and to keep the teacher to ed assistant ratio in our VPK classrooms.
That's really helpful. I think some of the conversations are we going to make up $30 million, but it sounds like we were able to only reduce by 1,500 seats for $3.3 million to keep the same rate. Okay. I think that's extremely helpful and a wise investment. So thank you.
Vice Chair Love.
I've had a quick question. I was recently talking to a grandparent that has custody of her grandchildren, and she doesn't qualify for Head Start. What is happening with the Universal Pre-K initiative?
So it's still in operations. The district did not get an increase in our seats. So we did not receive, we only have the 1,000 seats that we already had under our first aid grant. So we didn't get an additional allocation. But I will be happy to work with that particular grandmother to place her in our Fund 1 classrooms if there is space available in the area that she is requesting.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just want to say thank you, Director Gordon. We know what you've done and your team, and it means so much. I think you should be applauded tonight for the hard work that you've done.
Thank you.
Now to my board. Policy 0000 says we have to be done before 10 p.m. So we got work to do.
Yeah.
All right. Okay? All right. We're going to get to moving.
This concludes.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
This concludes my report. I did leave out one other person, Mr. Hannah. I want to introduce Mr. Hannah, our new Chief of Staff.
He's afraid of dogs. We're now on to new board business, 10.1, proposed policies first reading.
Thank you, Superintendent Richmond, board members. We have 10 policies that we're bringing before you tonight. 9 are for first reading. The last policy, 6024, is first reading, but we will be asking you to suspend the rules. So we've already gone over all of these policies in the committee meeting as well as the board work session, so I'll just read the numbers out. The first one is 0000, school board meetings. 0002, board members' qualifications and election. 0004, board officers and duties. 0005, method and election of board office. 0012, board policy development, adoption, dissemination, and review. 0016, orientation for school board candidate, 0017, board conference travel, 0025, constituent services, 5024, student suicide prevention. That particular policy is required by law, and 6024, cell phone personal communication devices. That is required by law as well. Again, the first 9 are for first reading, and the last policy, we are asking you to suspend the rules and approve the policy tonight.
Board Member McKinney.
Thanks. I'm going to ask the board to bear with me since this is first reading. I'd like to take 0000 school board meetings back to committee on, there's a question around the disalignment between the timing that we post the board agendas and the timing that the board receives the board agendas. So I just want to discuss that. So in the interest of time, I just want to let you all know, let you all know that I'd like to send that one back to committee. It still is in first reading. Just want to bring up the issue that I think one of the public speakers brought to our attention. And so that's all I wanted to request, that we just discuss that during board committees. Okay. And then I'll make the motion to suspend the rules to accept.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Board Member Murphy.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner McKinney, what we were doing here with this particular policy is that we were going to suspend the rules and approve it so that it can be in place when school starts on Monday, and then we can take it back to committee after which and discuss it.
No, that's a cell phone.
That's a cell phone?
Yeah.
What's a cell phone?
Yeah, I'm talking about school board meeting.
But what's a cell phone?
Yeah.
A cell phone.
Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead and suspend the rules.
All right, any more? I'll make a motion to suspend the rules to allow us to adopt policy 6024, cell phone personal communication devices, in first reading.
Second.
I'm sorry. I move that we suspend the rules to adopt policy 6024, cell phones personal communication devices, in first reading.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love. Oh, she's not there. Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otey.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
motion is adopted. So the other ones are.
Point of clarification, did we do it all? We just suspended the rules, now we have to adopt it. Is that correct?
That's correct. I think you did just vote to suspend the rules. Now you do need to go back and adopt the policy on
Okay,
first
so
reading.
now with the
I move that we adopt policy 6024, cell phone personnel communication devices.
Second.
roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otey.
Aye.
Board Member Williams. Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative.
Thank you.
The remaining policies will come back next month for second reading.
Thank you.
Okay, that's what I was talking about.
We're now on to the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? We had 11.34 to be removed. $11.1, approval, 2025-2026 school year agreement to administer school nutrition program. 11.2, purchase approval, 806 Technologies Incorporated, $125,000. 11.3, purchase approval, Alcee Elementary School laptops and computer carts, $212,362. 11.4, approval Frontline Technologies Group LLC, $184,623.08. 11.5, approval Curriculum Associates, $2,847,860. 11.6, approval YMCA, $215,040. 11.7, approval Herbert's STEM Center classroom naming rights. 11.8, approval Kev Group Incorporated, $128,553.90. 11.9, approval lease of former Northwest Prep to Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering MACE, $295,247. 11.10, approval Power of Words Therapy Services LLC, $129,000. 11.11, approval Raptor Visitor Management System, $138,845. 11.12, approval RCM Healthcare Services, $258,475. 11.13, approval Covington Flooring Company Incorporated, Ridgeway High School, $272,480. 11.14, approval sale former Denver Elementary to Capstone Education Group Incorporated, $1,600,000. 11.15, approval sale of former Graves Elementary land to J&J Investment Properties, $190,000. 11.16, approval sale Westside Middle School to Frazier Community Schools, $555,692. 11.17, approval school-based probation liaison program MOU, $25,000. 11.18, donation acceptance Ewan Kessler for the Shrine School, $85,000. 11.19, approval Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, Tennessee Prevention Network Renewal Grant Contract 2025 through 2026 school year, $100,000. 11.20, approval Tennessee Governmental Grant Contract, $22,339.35. 11.21, approval State and Local Cybersecurity Grant, $816,000. 11.22, approval Vantage Learning LLC, $466,695. 11.23, approval Youth Court. 11.24, approval Sheffield Elementary School playground installation, $200,746.56. 11.25, approval First Amendment to Leicester School sales agreement, no dollar amount. 11.26, adoption charter authorization amended round Kirby Middle School. 11.27, adoption charter authorization amended round Dreamcatchers Charter Schools. And this is to deny that school, to deny the Dreamcatchers, to deny Kirby Middle School. 11.28, adoption charter authorization amended round Hillcrest High School, to deny. 11.29, adoption charter authorization amended round Still I Rise Academy, denial. 11.30, adoption charter authorization amended round KIPP Cordova Collegiate School, approve. 11.31, approval Energy Partners LLC Riverview Rises U.S. Department of Energy Grant Project, $10,093,995. 11.32, approval, dual enrollment MOU between MSCS College Partners, Christian Brothers University, Southwest Tennessee Community College, and Tennessee State University. No dollar amount. 11.33, approval local dual credit MOU between MSCS and College Partners, Christian Brothers University, and Southwest Tennessee Community College. No dollar amount. 11.34 has been removed. 11.35, approval of the consent agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Board Member Murphy.
Second the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second by Vice Chair Love. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Yes.
Board Member Otey.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. That motion passes. We're now on to strategic allocations. 13.1, approve a resolution approving MSCS board member strategic school fund allocations for July 2025, $142,515. May I have a motion and second?
I move to approve the
Motion by Board Member Murphy, second by Board Member Williams. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Abstain.
Aye.
Board Member Otey.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 8 in the affirmative and 1 abstain.
That motion passes. Now we're request for action. I'll turn it over to Board Member Hugh Garcia.
Thank you, Chair Coleman. Colleagues, I introduced this at the beginning of the evening, but we have an opportunity for an investment from a corporate partner, XAI. They have shared a letter with us that outlines what they would like to do in partnership for 4 of our schools. That is on board docs now for the listening public as well. That letter is on there, and the resolution that I'm going to ask us to take action on. And I want to start by reading the letter. If you are verbally processing me right now, most of the investments that I will list out for each of these schools are very similar or the same. So you will hear the same things, but when I read what they were going to invest and just kind of setting this up, we have 4 schools who have a combined 10-year deferred maintenance of almost $42 million. And the opportunity that we have to really, honestly, get a jump start on the vision of investing in neighborhoods and regions of Memphis, identifying partners who can invest. When we have talked for years across maybe 7, 8, 10 superintendents about the need to really rethink about our footprint and not only maximizing our buildings, but the academic program and culture within it. And I think this hits on all of that. So I'm very excited to share the opportunity that we have in front of us. So I'm going to start with the letter, and then I will read the resolution, and then we can have a discussion on any questions that we have. This letter is from XAI at 3231 Riverport Road, Memphis, Tennessee, July 15th, 2025. Dr. Roderick Richmond, Superintendent, Memphis-Shelby County Schools, 160 Hollywood Street, Memphis, 38112. The subject, in-kind contributions for selected MSCS schools in Southwest Memphis. Dear Dr. Richmond, thank you for your leadership and all you do to forge a brighter future for the greater Memphis community. I am writing to officially memorialize the commitment XAI is making with in-kind contributions at J.P. Freeman Optional, Fairleigh High, and Westwood High Schools. The information listed below contains an overview of the schools and the projects XAI is interested in undertaking. School 1, John P. Freeman Optional School, 5250 Tulane Road, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109. Principal Dr. Key Coleman. The first bullet point, project management, design, subject to Mscs administration approval, construction, subject to approval of contractor, installation, replacement, and/or repair of the following: general school improvements, painting of hallways, common areas, and classrooms, windows, lighting upgrades or modernizations, plumbing, restroom modernizations, HVAC and AC units, landscaping and beautification upgrades and modifications, outdoor athletic/outdoor improvements, turf, natural grass, football, baseball, soccer, open play fields with associated bleachers, athletic track, scoreboard, fencing, barriers, landscaping and beautification upgrades and modifications, indoor athletic, indoor basketball court with associated bleachers, weight room and exercise area, lighting upgrades, modernization, scoreboard, specialized areas such as library, cafeteria, auditorium, etc., chemistry and technology labs with associated materials and resources, modular walls for individual study or collaborative work, furniture, wayfaring signage, audiovisual equipment, lighting upgrades and modernizations, climate control systems, and supportive technology. Fairleigh High School, 4950 Fairleigh Road, Memphis, 38109. Similar project management. It is a repeat of under the general school and outdoor athletic and indoor athletic previously mentioned, and also specialized areas. Make sure. Okay. We also want to include Mitchell High School in my making sure that we are highlighting all of the correct schools. So, Mitchell High School, 658 West Mitchell Road, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109. The principal, Mr. Kelvin Meeks. Again, the same general school investments, outdoor athletic, indoor athletic, and specialized areas. Westwood High School, 4480 Westmont, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109. Principal, Dr. Trenton Watson. Again, project management, design, construction, installation, replacement, and repair with the same general school, outdoor athletic, indoor athletic, and specialized areas. And then the final statement, as an extension of the outlined scope of work, XAI would further commit to assume all financial responsibility associated with these actions and items with an understanding that no funds would change hands between the company and the school district. Based on the district's policy with in-kind donations over a certain amount, it is our understanding that our commitment would need to be officially presented to and approved by the Mscs Board of Education. We stand ready to receive further insights and instructions from you and your team on how to advance, keeping in mind our interest in executing on as much as we can during the summer months. Thank you for your partnership and the collaborative spirit of your team in this endeavor. It is appreciated. Sincerely, Brent Mayo, XAI. I will now read the resolution, which I am going to ask for support around, but then we'll have a discussion after I read the resolution. So resolution titled, Resolution Approving In-Kind Donation and Authorizing Superintendent to Enter into Memorandum of Understanding. Whereas XAI Corp. or XAI has offered in-kind donation in the form of improvements to certain district properties in Southwest Memphis, including John P. Freeman Optional School, Fairleigh High School, Mitchell High School, and Westwood High School. Whereas XAI has agreed that all such improvements will be performed by district-approved service providers at XAI's sole expense. Whereas XAI has agreed to arrange for, at no expense to the district, certain school improvements as described in the letter dated July 15th, 2025, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Whereas the value of the donated improvements will exceed $15,000. Whereas the board desires to accept XAI's donation as outlined in its July 15th, 2025 letter only for the benefit of students and families. Be it therefore resolved that the interim superintendent and/or district staff, as the interim superintendent shall direct, is hereby authorized to enter into a memorandum of understanding, or MOU, with XAI, which MOU shall set forth appropriate terms to govern the school improvement projects described herein only. Be it further resolved that the board has approved XAI's in-kind donation as described herein only pursuant to Policy 2019, and no further board action shall be required for the district to enter an MOU with XAI for the purposes set forth in this resolution. Dated July 29th, 2025, Amber Hewitt Garcia, MSCS Board Member, District 8. And I will open it up to
Board Member
discussions.
Board Member McKinney. It's on.
Thank you. Thank you for this. So I want to say I thank you for the offer, and I want to make sure that everyone knows that I appreciate this very much so. But I do have some questions, and is there anyone here from?
So we have a principal. We have principal from our Westwood principal. We have Bobby White from the Greater Memphis chain.
Yeah, I don't need any. I need the donor, not the principals. I understand. Yeah.
I think Bobby Hughes here representing them.
Okay. So
and CEO Ted Townsend as well.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions.
Mr. White, can you come to the mic, please? Or someone from XAI.
I have a couple of questions. Thank you for the offer. And I want to also, after reading the article in the newspaper on Friday about the intent, and after hearing Board Member Hewitt Garcia say a couple of things that were key for me is partnership and investment. And so when I think about partnership, I think about a relationship. And when I look at this, considering what's all surrounding XAI, and we are community members, we have buildings and we have to be concerned about what's happening in that community because we have students and faculty that go to that school every day. I want to know, because this is feeling very transactional. So is there an intent that we are going to be in partnership? Because what I saw Boys and Girls Club. We had 9 things closed. They gave to two programs $350,000. That's this year. What happens next year? So if they're going to be truly a community partner and a neighbor and invest in our community, my question becomes, is this just a one-hit wonder, or are we going to be thinking about how we build a relationship? For instance, we can't, the big ugly bear in the room or pink elephant in the room is that the community, there are some people in the community that have some real issues. They're here, and I know that. I'm one of those people, I absolutely, they're here. So how do we create a partnership to the benefit of our community? So I give an example. There can be monitoring stations, air quality monitoring stations that are actually put on our campuses to ensure that there's air quality, because they're going to be here long term. They're not, right? They're going to be neighbors, right? So I guess my question becomes, the $350,000 to the Boys and Girls Club, that's sweet, that was special. This is sweet and special, but what does the long-term relationship look like in terms of a partnership? And are they amenable to sitting down and talking to us about that?
Turn your mic on, please.
Test. All right. Bobby White, Chief Government Affairs Officer with the Greater Memphis Chamber. Happy to be here with you all, to board members, superintendent. I do want to just state for the record, we have a number of individuals here, including the principals of 3 of the 4 mentioned schools who are here, Dr. Hunter, Dr. Watson, Dr. Coleman. We also have Pastor Melvin Watkins from Mount Vernon Baptist Church there in the Westwood community, in addition to a number of members of our team, including our President Ted Townsend, Julian Cross, Courtney Blanchard, Quentin Robinson. So I do want to just kind of speak to what you've mentioned from the standpoint. One of the things about the intentionality about what you're reading, it has to do with the fact that when the company was first located here, they first came here, Electrolux, old building, Electrolux, which is located in an industrial park, Pigeon Industrial Complex. That building, their neighbors there are a steel company like Nucor Steel. Neighbors include Valero Oil Refinery. Neighbors include Tennessee Valley Authority. And so their commitment to the neighbors based on that initial location had to do with them committing to build an $80 million wastewater recycle facility, which is not just for the company, because the company, quite frankly, already operates off of recycled water to cool the supercomputer. But that $80 million facility that they are building is being built external of them in service to their neighbors, which include Nucor Steel, which include TVA, which are lined up to make use of using that wastewater recycle facility as opposed to pulling water from the aquifer for industrial uses. In moving to the position of the new location or the expansion on 2-lane road, which is about 1/8 of a mile from the Mississippi state line, but it's down the street from John P. Freeman and in proximity to other schools, the commitment from the company was to actually reach out to those schools. We did tours of the schools with the school leaders who are here, and just walking around, having them to think through what some of the challenges are that they're having and what some of the ideas they have about investment and what they would like to see. We were able to get these exhaustive lists from these school leaders who I absolutely want to appreciate their leadership in those buildings. And so what you see is a reflection of what we heard from the school leaders. In there are, of course, deferred maintenance issues, but there are also things like investing in drones and other things that will actually occur and support the students, support the staff. I want to also just say this, Board Member McKinney, as it relates to the timing of this. There had been some thought about doing this a couple of months ago in terms of how we had actually gotten what we needed from the principals. We were intentional, understanding that there had been some lingering questions because there was a permit that was up before the health department. And so to not be viewed as trying to make an investment, one of the reasons we're here now is because we are past the approval of the gas turbine permits that have been issued by the Shelby County Health Department, because we did not want the image that, in fact, that somehow the company is attempting to ingratiate itself with the community by making this investment to get viewed better as those permits were being viewed or reviewed by the health department. We're past that. The health department actually has checked off on those natural gas turbines that are out and being used at the facility right now. But we're here now because the timing is we're past so much of those issues, and we're now here just understanding that in this moment, this is a straight investment. The only reason we're even public about this is because the rules require us to do so. Millions upon millions of dollars. You mentioned the Boys and Girls Club, but we have seen the apparatus of the leadership of the company and family of companies make over $50 million of investment in the Memphis community, and you've not heard anything about it because that has not been the style or the intent, which is try to persuade or get people to think differently. This investment has everything to do with wanting to be good to neighbors and to invest, but it's not just this. It's the conversations we've had with Dr. Richmond. It's the conversations we've had with board members who have visited XAI. We're looking forward to this being, if you will, an opening salvo as we move forward from the standpoint of being able to look and see what partnership looks like in the right now and then into the future as we begin to think about the jobs needed to actually fund, should I say, support this tech and innovation hub we are becoming.
So I think you answered the question towards the end. So this is not transactional. This is going to be a relationship that we're beginning to be partners so that we can be all good neighbors and so that we can think innovatively on how this this big company that's come in, for some people are supportive, some people aren't. I get that, and we can't say that that's not happening. So I just want to be clear on the record that this is not a one-hit wonder thing, that this is the beginning of a partnership, because again, I heard partnership and I heard investment. And that is something that I think, being good neighbors, the type of company you are, the type of jobs we claim that would draw in, and where you're going to get your workforce from is us. So how do we expand this relationship and partnership other than just giving us money for our buildings?
Let me, if I could use the term you use, transactional. I think transactional denotes that you're getting something back. So I would say this is transactional, from the standpoint that the company and the family of companies that are coming this way, SMC, NVIDIA, Dell Computer, those companies want qualified talent. And so if there is something to be said about transactional, the investment is being made now and into the future because we're trying to build the talent that we need. Make no mistake about it, Shelby County lost more population than any other county in the nation last year. But it's not just about us being open to bringing people here. We want to end the brain drain where young people graduate from your schools, go off to college and don't come back. We are attempting to incentivize, if you will. If it's transactional, it's about making an investment in the district with an understanding that the district will produce the talent of individuals who can operate and be proficient at the jobs that we're building in this tech and innovation hub that we've developed.
So I'm going to say again that this is a partnership, the beginning of a partnership.
It is the beginning of a partnership.
Thank you.
Board Member McKissick.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. White. I had the good fortune of going to XAI and checking it out for myself. And as Dr. Richmond knows, I had a healthy dose of skepticism. And as a journalist, there's an old saying, if your mother says she loves you, check it out. So I didn't just want to just blindly go along because, like everyone else in the community, I've been hearing this and that. I wanted to really learn for myself, to truly understand, to not only go visit XAI, but to talk to members of the community, to talk to, have the chance to speak to some of the school principals, and there's a lot of support as well for this. And I had the good fortune of speaking with XAI leadership and looked them straight in the eye to ensure that this isn't just transactional. They genuinely care about our communities and the children in the community. I'm talking about the folks who are local right here in Memphis, Tennessee. We know there's some craziness out there far away from Memphis, but the people who are transacting business, being that level of transaction, they also genuinely care. And we got to hear some personal stories and meet so many local people who are lives have been changed as a result. And so I say it's high time. I'm putting everybody else, all the other business leadership and companies on notice. This level of investment that XAI is doing in the school, and they did mention that this is just the beginning, that they plan to expand out more. They did mention about the Boys and Girls Clubs. But they're putting their money where their mouth is and where their heart is. And I intend to support this. Thank you.
Vice Chair Love.
Thank you for calling me last week. I
Yes,
had
ma'am.
a very robust conversation while I was packing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I don't know enough about this. I went to two or three community meetings, and all I heard was negativity. I didn't accompany you on the tour because I was out of town.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to see the principals, the community. I don't know enough about this. So it sounds good, but I don't know enough about this. And I'm not going to commit to something I don't know much about. There is a community outrage. This isn't my district, but this is my district. I would love to hear from the board members who represent those schools, give their comments or suggestions or questions.
Is it okay for me to comment to your?
Yeah.
So I do want to, and thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I do want to appreciate your taking the phone call. I will say this, that we have had a company that has quite frankly complied with all, you will notice that if we were to go back and not to relitigate anything, but I think that you will notice that there hasn't been one government entity at the federal, state, or local level that has made any statement regarding what the company has done that has not been absolutely on par when it comes to being in line with existing policy, regulation, and law. I will even go so far back as this might be new to you all, but when we started on this journey with the company, it was a year ago. And it was during the Biden administration, right? And so folks like OSHA and the Environmental Protection Agency during the Biden administration were the ones who had oversight or insight, if you will, as it relates to the company and its dealings. So I would just say from the very beginning, what we've been dealing with has been a negative perception of the company, of course, which has been about the founder who's absolutely controversial, and we understand that. But I don't want us to get one thing confused with the other in terms of what this investment is. And these dollars are real. These companies are real. The 3 companies I mentioned that are setting up shop, expanding here in Memphis, are all 3 Fortune 500 companies: Supermicro, Dell Computer, NVIDIA. Their largest customer is XAI. And so I do not want one thing to get in the way of the other. There have been a number of officials at the federal, state, and local level who have quite frankly made their voice clear as it relates to the legality and in terms of what has been allowable. But this is real. In terms of someone who I did not point out, Mr. Brandon Doss, who is a Fairleigh graduate, and it was very cold at the XAI facility yesterday. Because Mr. Brandon Doss, a Fairleigh graduate, is the one who does their HVAC work at the company. He is the gentleman who, if allowed to, would be the one working at the schools. So there's other stories to be told, but I don't want us to miss the fact that this is an investment in the schools, and in terms of transaction, the company is asking for nothing in return other than a prepared workforce that they are willing to invest in, with an understanding this is just an opening of a partnership we're looking to form and strengthen.
Yes.
Board Member Williams.
I did attend 2 of the meetings, one at Fairleigh High School and one at Westwood High School, and there was no support for this. I live in this community as well. I live in the Valleywood community. My association has voted no support of this. And of course, Patrice Robinson, who was on the board of LGW forever with TVA, has a sign out against it. So it's really confusing, because what they're saying is that if it is what you say it's going to be, why would you put it here? I mean, and you come to Memphis, but you have selected an area. The Boxtown people said no, no, no. It's 95% African American. Where they're going with Whitehaven, in the Whitehaven area, it's 95% African American. So I'm not sure, but I do know that in the Whitehaven area, there is a mountain of resistance to this project. And if this is the way you're going to buy your way in to do it, I mean, if the school system supports it, and we come back in 10 years and everybody over there is dead, then the school system is liable.
Yes.
And I'll say that because I grew up in Castelia Heights around the defense depot, and they came with the same sugar when they built that facility there. But half of our community died because that depot was there.
Yeah, with respect, I'm sorry.
So my point is, if that it's grand and great and it sounds very good. But if the community doesn't want it, I don't see how the school system can force the community. If the community doesn't want it, and the school system says, yes, we could, we'll support you doing these things to our school, then the school district is doing a disservice to the citizens that they serve in that community.
Yeah, I would just say this, and thank you for your comments, board member. I just want to just clearly state that if this investment is not made in Memphis-Shelby County schools, that there are lines of other educational institutions that are, quite frankly, lobbying the company heavily to make investments on the private side and otherwise. Because, quite frankly, we are at a point where there is nothing that the company needs. The supercomputer exists, and Colossus 2, if it's not already operating, should be operating in the next couple of weeks. So I think I want to just be clear on the fact that we're not at the beginning of the process. We're at the end of the process where the supercomputer exists and is here. So to the extent that the explanation is if the company is intending to ingratiate itself by making an investment, that is not true, because there is nothing that the company is asking for from the community at this point. It's only looking to make an investment with its neighbors. And quite frankly, I don't want to put the principals on the spot, but I do have Pastor Melvin Watkins here, who has been with us along the way, who, if it's okay, would like to make comments, if it's okay, Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Many of you may know that I'm Pastor Watkins, and I serve as board chair of Uplift Westwood CDC. I'm also, of course, the senior pastor of Mount Vernon Baptist Church, and I'm the president of the Westwood Manor Elderly Cottages Affordable Housing in Westwood. And we have been working in Westwood for quite some time, as many of you probably know. But I do want to say something about the community, because I think as I look around, we have several community members who are probably here, or maybe still in overflow. But Westwood is not a monolith, which means that you can go to any community meeting in our community and find those who have different ideas. I've hosted several meetings in Westwood. I don't know if you were there, Mr. Williams and others who are talking about what the community wants. But we've hosted several community meetings about this, and the sentiment is different. It's not all the same. And there's so many in our community who are in favor of community partnership. This item that we're dealing with now has never come up in a community meeting, so to say that the community is against it is not factual, because this is the first time we've heard about this organization coming into partnership. But let me just say, as a community leader, that I stand wholeheartedly in support of the school board's consideration and approval of this item, because it's time for transformational investment to take place in our community. And to continue to turn this into a political thing is, I think we really have to be careful, because we're going down a slippery slope. I cannot stand here and speak on behalf of all of Westwood, although I think I have quite a bit of authority to do so. And so I would not stand here and say that the community is against it, because that's not true. There's so many in our community who are in favor of investment, and accepting this support could mark a game-changing pivot for our schools in 3819, and it speaks to the vision of a shared responsibility and a collective progress. So I strongly urge the board to embrace this opportunity with courage, with vision, with commitment to our children's future, and not about politics, because if you're talking about turbines, and I'm gonna sit down here, but if I'm wanting to know the science behind turbines, I don't want to hear from a politician or a preacher. The scientists are saying something different than the politicians and the preachers are saying. And so I want to stand on what the scientists are saying, not the politicians and the preachers. So I extend my full support, and I stand ready to work alongside of the district. This partnership will ensure that every child in the 38109, especially these schools have been listed, will have access to high-quality facilities, education, and support that they need to flourish, where they don't have to go out to Collierville to see a nice football field, a nice gym. They can have it right here. And if we have a community partner that's here, whether we like it or not, they are here. And if they are here and ready to be a good neighbor, then who are we to stand back and say we have a problem with it because we have an issue with the CEO? And we can do a survey right now, and I believe not everyone will feel the same way about all the CEOs. TVA has been in our community for decades, and the best that they can do is give us a $5,000 grant. Now you have a community partner that's here and will be here. So I'm urging us to lay aside all of the games, the politics, and I'm standing with authority to say that not all of the community is against this community partner. And so, board, let's do the right thing by our children. This is a great opportunity to change the narrative. This will be a game-changing moment for all of our schools in the 38109.
Board Member Porter.
Thank you, Chair, and thanks for the community support. As a school board member, it's my job to advocate for new resources to come to the school, whether it's my district, but just advocate for the whole district. And so my position is that I'm accepting any organizations willing to partner with the district just for the success of our children. We just talked about adding STEM programs in each region. Well, XAI has the resources and the expediency to make that dream come to life across the district. Yeah, across a partnership, collaboration, whatever word we want to use. But I'm thankful for partnership and the opportunity. And partnership does not mean we silence the concerns of the community. That's not our argument all the way. That's a more city council, county commission argument. But again, thank you for the presentation. I would like to be added to the resolution as well. So, but anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Board Member Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Per our conversation, Mr. Bobby White, I was not pleased with the text or the conversation. And so with the decision that I need to make, it won't be because of you. It will be because I personally spoke with some of my principals that are in agreement with it. So it wouldn't be that reason. But also to Commissioner Williams' point, I did speak with some of the community members, and some of them are in agreement with it, and some of them are not. Many of you know that my answer is no until I get instructions, till I get information to see if it's going to benefit our children or not. So before I even say yes to anything, I have to talk to people to see what they think about XAI coming in and partnering with the school board. So I got some yays and I got some nays. But what I was most concerned about is that when I spoke with my principals about it, they were in favor of it. At first, they wasn't even approached about it. So I'm going to agree with Commissioner Williams on that one because they wasn't, but they were later on. So I spoke with them and they are in agreement with it. So my decision won't be it will be based on it is good for our schools, it is good for the upkeep of our schools, and it's also good for our principals that want the upkeep for the schools. What I don't want is to get something started and then a year later you jump up and you leave, and then it leaves us with the burden. So I just want to make sure that when it's done right. We have that partnership, they're here to stay, and I want to speak to Mr. Mayo myself so that we'll know that we don't have no problems, because if we have a problem, it's going to be a problem. Thank you.
Board Member Otay.
Thank you, Board Chair Coleman. I did want to bring to your attention that Memphis happens to be the epicenter of poverty, and we also happen to be the epicenter of technology. And I did have the opportunity to go and tour the facility. I had several questions. I don't want to reiterate anything that was said tonight because we've already gone over that. But it just comes, when I think about opportunity and moving our district forward and workforce development for our students, I think about the story, a gentleman that had a radio show, and he would call his listeners Jonathan, and that came from a book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. This book was to teach individuals how to fly and fly higher. And you have this saying, give a man a fish he can eat for a day, and you teach a man a fish he can eat for a lifetime. And our goal is to address the issue, which is poverty. That's the issue that we have. And those issues are stemming to nutrition, it's stemming from healthcare, and of course, and then it's in turn stemming to crime, right? And so we have to be able to provide opportunity for our students, an opportunity for our community. And I think that's something that they are trying to do. And just based off of my conversation, because I asked several questions yesterday, and I had the opportunity to speak with Pastor as well, along with yourself, Mr. Bobby. And I think that, again, we're not deferring from the fact that things need to be done. So we're not proposing that we ignore issues that could arise, but also what we're saying is we can teach people in the community how we can attack those issues. And the whole thing, when I think about one of the issues, because I received a text while I was up here, and I wanted to make sure I'm taking a note, and I'm saying this. We talk about emissions. We want to be able to keep the emissions from the environment by putting the emissions back into the manufacturing process. And Mr. Brent Mayo talked about that yesterday, and I think that's something that needs to be brought to the community attention. And just know that we're not here to hurt the community, but to pour into the vision of our students. And so I'm in support of that. I'm in support of, pouring into our schools. I'm in support of the sporting facilities, deferred maintenance. I'm in support of that. I'm in support of the partnership, and I'm definitely in support of the workforce development. And I think, lastly, I want to say that every citizen should have access to AI, because this is where we're moving to. AI is the way of the world. And so I think that every citizen in Memphis-Shelby County should have access to that. So thank you.
I do want to make mention, and I do thank you for the comments, but Mr. Fred Smith came up with a term called the digital delta. It's how we've marketed ourselves for the last couple of years on the backside of Blue Oval City, and what we saw to be a project that we played a role in, a $5 billion project, Stanton, Tennessee, about 42 miles away. We played a critical role in luring and winning that project, and on the backside of that, we began to talk about, and I want to appreciate the legacy of Mr. Fred Smith, who came up with this term, digital delta. He and Richard Smith came up with this term, digital delta. We vision cast and began to talk about digital delta and how we want Memphis to become this tech and innovation hub. And so it is interesting because when you look at our peer cities, we found out and saw that we had the highest concentration of black tech talent than any other city in the nation as related to black tech talent. And so what we're doing right now is building out an industry that matches the talent. And so what you see with XAI and what you see with these other companies that are coming to town, the magnetism alone of what this one project is bringing to bear is absolutely phenomenal. And Digital Delta is playing out before our eyes. We just were awarded Chamber of the Year, and we received the Deal of the Year with the XAI project, and we were awarded Chamber of the Year just last week in Philadelphia, because what you see is a vision that was cast, and you see how it's manifesting with the companies that are coming here. The critical part to it is the talent to ensure that we have the individuals and the young people who can occupy the roles in this industry that we are building out. And so when you talk about partnership, we're looking very much forward to it. And I would also say this, when it even comes to crime, the best crime fighting tool in any community is a good paying job. And so we are interested in building on this and ensuring we can retain the talent here. And the last point I want to make is this company could just as easily say the tax dollars alone will be enough, because you will see the benefit of it when the county begins to count those funds for the next couple of years. You'll see the investments you're able to make. And so we could have it where the company could sit and rest on its laurels and let everyone eat off of the tax dollars that it's brought. But to see them making an investment like this is absolutely encouraging. It's a model for what we want to see from other companies, and we're excited.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move for the vote. We have several questions.
Board Member McKinney, Board Member Williams.
Thank you. I want to say that I am happy that I've heard partnership and commitment to continuing to invest, because with a neighbor as large as you all are, this is a commitment that comes across the county. I think you've said that this is a commitment and a partnership across the county. We occupy a unique position as a community stakeholder. We are across the county, so all our students are across the county, and they're not just in those 3 or 4 schools. So I want to be clear that I am absolutely in favor of investing in our schools and these particular schools. What I want, again, and you answered that for me, which will allow me to support this, is that you are committed to a long-term partnership to do what we need to do to ensure that our students have those jobs you all are talking about, and that this is a partner that is committed to helping us be that facilitator of employees, correct? And so I just want to make sure that was clear when I asked about transaction and relationships. And I do believe there is a way, even in this, to mitigate or to enhance those those campuses, right? And I'm one of those people that I'm thinking long term, and
Absolutely.
I'm thinking big picture. You and I have had the conversation,
Yes, ma'am.
Bobby. And so I'm thinking, one of the things is, again, I'm concerned about the students too, and I don't know, and I've done my research, and so there's things coming from both sides. So putting in monitoring, air quality monitoring stations on our campuses to keep our students safe. That's a small thing to ask, I think. It's a benefit for our students. And it also ensures that our community, our students, our staff are safe and they are secure. And so that is something that I think I'm looking in here, and this MOU that we will be asking the superintendent to engage in, my hope is that we do have to bring it back because there's some more stuff in it. Because of our partnership. Thank you.
Madam Board Member, we tried to make it as broad as we can because we did not want to limit.
Board Member Williams.
I will end by saying this. People don't come to us, GU, they come to the community where they want to do the business. They can build the company where they want to build it, and they have the wherewithal to do so. And if you're saying our schools in that area are supporting it, the people who live there, the people who work at those schools don't necessarily live there. There's not a community over there that has supported these efforts. I've gone to Fairleigh High School, I've gone to Hillcrest High School, and I've gone to Havenview Middle and my community meeting. And all of those people were very upset about the process. Now, to say you're gonna come in, you're gonna get some jobs, you're gonna build some schools, you may do all of that, but you're also gonna kill a lot of people if it is what it is designed to do. It is going to suck up the water in the area, it's going to use up it's going to have a very devastating effect on the health of that community. And if it does, if and when it does, the blood will be on the hands of this school system and those of you who are bringing it. Because if it is what you're saying it is, why would they bring it to Whitehaven? They would take it where, just like Blue over there, everybody else, get up there where other folks live. They are not going to destroy their communities. Even the idea of having to do so, if you could. We didn't get any of those other things. And we don't have to have what they have if it's going to kill everybody in the community, or half of them. Okay. And they cannot say, the health department said it was a hazard. At the meeting at Fairleigh High School, they gave us numbers and statistics. So all of that has been debated with me, and I'm good with it because I don't have to live in that community. I have lived there for a long time, but I would not live there under those conditions.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Ms. Hugh Garcia.
I want to clarify tonight that the decision before us is whether we are accepting an in-kind donation from a company that wants to invest in our infrastructure. The school, XAI is going to exist in Memphis, whether the Memphis-Shelby County School Board approves of their existence here or not. And if they want to invest in our children and families, in their future workforce, in the future leadership, I will not sleep tonight saying no to that. We are not a taxing authority. We have county, city, state, federal dollars. We have no way to generate revenue, and we know the reality ahead of us to give our kids what they deserve. And I believe XAI is going to lead by example of being a pillar in our funding structure and what it means to transform an entire community starting here. I move to call the vote.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
No.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
No.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Have 7 in the affirmative, and you have 2 noes.
That motion passes. There being no further business, meeting is adjourned. Thank you and have a good night. Thank you for staying.